plant-based diet. That's what I'm thinking
exactly.
of. He seems like someone that would be on a plant-based diet.
For sure.
Derogatory.
Wow. Taking shots at him.
Sorry.
But no, to me, how DeMond handles this going forward is going to be the most important thing, because he's got to take some accountability, especially as the quarterback, especially as the leader of this team, the guy who Jedd Fisch has been very complimentary of in many opportunities prior to this. Jedd Fisch raves about him.
Mm-hmm.
I remember prior to the 2025 season, Fisch was calling him one of the most talented quarterbacks in the country, and he'd only made like a couple of starts finishing off that 2024 season. So it's not like Jedd Fisch has been, pushing him out. He's been very much like, yeah, we need you, buddy. Like, this is something that we need as a program going forward, is you to be the face of our program. And I think if DeMond Williams makes some public comments, maybe gets a mic in front of his face and just kind of owns up to it, maybe the Husky fan base can let bygones be bygones.
I think they can. If he starts winning, I think that's what does it.
Yes, I think the winning
more than an apology, even winning.
Getting to a bowl game, beating the Ducks.
I think it can be easily forgiven by a lot of people.
But if the winning doesn't happen, then all of a sudden now you've got the distraction of what this offseason for the Huskies has been to start, and how much, people are going to be holding that $4 million that he's rumored to be making over his head and being like, well, buddy, we're, fighting for bowl eligibility here.
Yep.
What are you doing getting paid top dollar amongst college quarterbacks and not, performing better?
I want to talk
There's
about
a lot of pressure on him this year.
Yeah, I want to talk about the decision itself. Dan Lanning from Peach Bowl Media Day had something to say about contracts.
Contracts, you'd love to say that they should be enforceable. And, at some point we'll see what that ends up looking like. But I think that's the secret behind a contract, right? Is it supposed to mean something?
I felt that it was not a jab at DeMond, but that it was clearly a head coach saying, hey, when you make a promise and make a commitment, you're supposed to stand by that. Even if it's only during the length of the contract, or even if you have to go through the right channels to break that contract, right? To go to the school and go through the courts and pay some kind of fine or figure out what it is, you have to be responsible about it. I think that there's a lot of character questions from people about DeMond. I find myself, I'm curious where you are. I find myself, when talking about college athletes, being in this kind of gray area. On the one hand, we're talking about young men, and they are not kids. I always have a personal pet peeve with the idea that, as a man, it's like you got to be a boy forever. That's a separate issue, but they're not kids.
Right.
They're also not grown men and adults. 18, 19, 20, 21 is a very weird place to be in life, where you make decisions, and sometimes those decisions are horrendous and unforgivable. This isn't one of them. This is one where you go, I hope you learn from this. Like, I don't think it's like a deep character issue. So I don't think it's something where I find myself being very careful about how I'm speaking about a 19 or 20-year-old.
I think just him being 20 years old and doing this is a weird spot for a lot of people who find themselves either, on the side of him or on the side of the Huskies, or just kind of like, I don't know how to feel about this situation because I've never experienced it before as a sports fan. But if DeMond Williams were playing professionally at 20 years old, everybody would be criticizing him. There are guys in the NBA that are 19, 20 years old that are not immune from criticism simply because they're professionals. Baseball, you see 19 and 20-year-old players every now and then. The NHL, same thing.
Baseball, you might see a 14-year-old with a contract.
Right, from the Dominican. Right. But just because he is in college, I don't think makes him immune from criticism in all of this. I think he is making a professional salary for sure. $4 million. That puts him among the higher earners of backup quarterbacks in the NFL. I don't know what his future is going to be, especially because he's very undersized as a quarterback. I don't know if he's got the height to make it as a professional quarterback. So this is going to be maybe the peak of his earning capabilities, playing professional or playing football. So I don't think it's fair to say, well, he's just a kid. Well, he's in college, because take away the level at which he's playing at, push him up a level to the NFL at his current age, all of a sudden now he doesn't have that immunity. All of a sudden now he doesn't have that shield, that meat shield, to protect him from all these daggers coming his way.
Yeah, and look, I am getting very personal now with this, and I understand that. I'm going to preface this by saying it is a personal opinion that is mostly removed from Damon Williams himself and Washington itself. Now I'm just talking about the dynamics of how we talk about men in general. 206 texted in, I'm a 58-year-old man. I was an idiot until my mid-30s, basically until I met my wife. I own a company and babysit grown men for most of my life now. Grown men, no matter how responsible, aren't grown until they're sometimes in their mid to late 30s, even into their 40s. I have a lot of experience. I'm not disagreeing with you. However, if at 35, in your 30s,
it still takes some personal responsibility at that age.
I see people talk about like women being, I think the standards are different and it's a little unfair. And so I am bringing some of that into the conversation. So I'll acknowledge that. Some of when I'm saying like, hey, you only get to be a boy for so long or a kid for so long or a young adult for so long, I will admit that part of that is my personal experience of like, I think there's pressure on that doesn't exist for women in the same way.
Sure.
But all of that being said, now to remove the personal thing, which I think is probably boring for most people, just admitting that I have some bias here, I am trying to be careful about how I talk about him because he's, in my opinion, still a young adult. But you need to learn from this then.
Yeah.
And I still think it's a dumb decision.
I think so too. He could have been entirely avoided if he just simply didn't sign the contract and also took the advice of maybe his agent rather than an advisor, this Carnell Landers guy who was heavily involved in the Nico Imaliva transfer portal situation a year ago, where he ditched out on a Tennessee team that made the college football playoff and then transferred to UCLA, a team that struggled mightily this season, ended up firing their head coach midway through the season, didn't make a bowl game. So these characters that kind of move in the shadows of college football, you got to be mindful of like whose interest are they working for? Are they working for your own? Or are they working for their own? And based off of these two instances, it feels like the guy that has been connected to both has been kind of moving with his own interest in mind rather than these two quarterbacks. He
said with screenshots that he has nothing to do with this, but I think that
I don't know.
Either way, like let's say it was someone close to Demond or Demond himself, this was a bad decision. This was an irresponsible decision.
Yes.
And even though I'm going to talk about it with like the lightest of kid gloves because you're a college athlete, I think you are right in that, okay, but college athletes are getting paid like professionals now. So professional decisions and professional contracts have professional consequences.
Yes.
And responsibility.
Yeah, because there's a lot of money at stake. And let me tell you something, like the other people that Damon Williams is going to have to face the music towards are the donors, are these NIL donors at Washington that trusted him and trusted his camp to maximize that $4 million investment. And then all of a sudden now that wasn't enough for him like that. And now it is, obviously, because of the legal ramifications that were going to come his way.
It's like, shame on me if I'm wrong. I don't think Damon was like, I actually love Washington. Like, what am I doing?
I think
he was
$4 million,
like,
I'll live anywhere.
I think he retained legal counsel and said, poof, wow, this is a legally binding contract.
And I kind of wonder what is the fallout of that aspect of this story is, will NIL donors be a little more hesitant to fork over the cash if they aren't getting as much return on their investment? Because that's a lot of money to hand one person for just a one-year contract.
Let's also get to what's happening on the field here. The 425. Forget my own radio edit, Williams. Why would we let a zero integrity player back? He wanted to leave. He's trash. I will not root or cheer for him again in any sport. I think that while that's harsh to me, it's also a response that other people have. And 425, I'm not reading it to call you out. I'm reading it because you're not the only person. And thank you for listening. I think, though, there is part of me that, look, as a UW alum, I'm like, well, if he gives you your best chance to win, I still care about the product on the field.
Sure. And I think that's where a lot of Husky
this,
fans are, where it's like, this is our best option at quarterback.
And there is a difference between this person got in trouble with legal issues for massive character concerns, and they were hurting other people. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, if he helps you win, that's a tacky response.
Right.
But if this person made a irresponsible and unprofessional decision, and is now coming back kind of tail between legs. Okay, but if he helps you win, that's kind of where I did not think, like you, that Damon Williams would ever suit up for Washington again. It sure would appear that he is. I think he's their best chance to be more competitive this year.
For sure.
I'm also, part of me is also okay with it and being like, well, shoot. What are the Huskies supposed to do here?
Yeah, they have their hands tied. Yeah. I hope Bo Pribula enjoyed his one trip to Seattle. He's probably never coming back here again. That was the other portal quarterback that Washington hosted in the days that Williams may or may not have been in the portal. I don't think we'll ever see Bo Pribula in Seattle again unless he joins a team that plays against Washington. Hope he enjoyed his one-night hotel stay and his campus tour.
Seattle's a beautiful city.
Got to see the facility. He visited maybe with the worst weather time of the year.
It wasn't raining yesterday, though. It's been, remember when it was raining for like weeks and weeks and weeks straight?
Stacy, I live in Auburn. I will never forget that amount of rain that I saw.
Yeah, it was clear yesterday, which is good. Yeah. I'm moving on. Let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, rewrite!
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news.
Powered by Bay Alarm Security Services.
With Bump and Stacy.
Headline number 1, Miami headed to the national championship game after scoring a last-minute touchdown to beat Ole Miss in the Fiesta Bowl. Here is how that touchdown from Carson Beck sounded.
3 receivers, bunt to the left. Beck is looking that way. And still looking. Takes off running. Carson Beck with his legs.
What's the real headline?
Lane Kiffin really lost $500K and his starting quarterback in one night. You love to see it.
Oh, man. He's hurting big time. He would have gotten that bonus from Ole Miss advancing to the national championship.
You know what, though? With Trinidad, with Chambliss moving down the field, those first two passes that got them, 25 yards out? I was like, maybe they do it.
I thought,
and it looked like there was defensive pass interference on the final one, but it was both. It was both contact.
Well, and Ole Miss had been playing with some magic over the last few weeks of the season, especially after. I thought they were going to do it too. I also thought maybe on that Hail Mary attempt, there was some pass interference on that because the receiver who went up for the ball, the Miami defensive back, was holding him. But on a Hail Mary, anything goes in those situations. Refs don't really like to call pass interference. And it's not like in the NFL where it's a spot foul, because if it was the NFL, it would have taken up to the 1 yard line. It would have probably been half the distance to the goal. So, like, the 15-yard line is where it would have moved up to. So it would have given Ole Miss a better shot at tying, or at the go-ahead score to end the game, but ultimately, I mean, what can you do in that situation?
You tweeted out an interesting point about the College Football Playoff Committee.
I think they got it right, and we're not wanting to admit that because there was so much hate towards the committee going all year, not putting Miami in the field, and then reversing course the final week and putting Miami in. Like, how could you put Miami in over Notre Dame? Miami's playing for a natty.
Yeah.
Miami could realistically win it. Their defense has been amazing this season.
To be fair, I'm you guys know me. I'm a softie, and typically I'm like, but it's fair. However, it should be Notre Dame and Miami both in the final, or not in the final, excuse me, in the 12-team playoff. And I think that including Tulane and JMU, even though it gives those players a really cool platform, that was a bye week for those teams.
Yeah.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 2, number 1 Indiana faces off against number 5 Oregon in tonight's Peach Bowl for the other spot in the national title game. What's the real headline?
Can Huskies fans handle a championship game with Dan Lanning and Mario Cristobal? I can't.
That would be.
I'm going Indiana on this one.
Yeah.
I like Signetti. Fernando Mendoza it's his year, man.
It really is. Everything coming up. Fernando Mendoza, he could pull off the Heisman Trophy national championship number 1 overall pick.
The trifecta, but then it ends with the Raiders, which feels like punishment for the coolest thing ever.
Bad finish to that, but heck of a ride that he's on right now. I just think Indiana, they're playing some grown man football right now. Like, they are controlling the line of scrimmage in all facets. And they already beat Oregon by double digits on the road this season in Autzen Stadium, one of the toughest places to win at in college football. I just think the Hoosiers get it done again, and I think it sets up an Indiana-Miami national championship game.
I think so, too. You'll never catch me rooting for Oregon anymore. And the thing is, though, and I've said this before, and I'm sorry to be repetitive, I really do like Dan Lanning.
Oh, he's got some sauce to him. Yeah.
That's a good coach.
Yeah.
And I love that he's really loyal to Oregon because he's had those opportunities.
For sure.
I mean, Alabama was pursuing him before. Was it?
It was.
Did he announce he was staying at Oregon, give him a new contract? I forget what happened. It was when Bama was going for a couple other people.
It was when Saban left, and then Lanning offered up that quote that has now become like a rallying cry amongst Ducks fans, where he says the grass is green in Eugene. And it's like, what a quote! What a quote! I hate that.
All right, last one.
Headline rewrites.
Headline 3, the NFL's wild card slate starts tomorrow with the Rams and Panthers. What's the real headline?
Well, you could argue that battle's already ended.
Yeah.
Rams 10.5-point favorites in this one, and even though it's the playoffs, Curtis, I think they surpass that. I think they cover that safely.
I don't see Carolina putting up much of a fight in this one, even though they already beat LA once this year in Carolina, too. I don't know did you watch that Bucks-Panthers game that was on right before the Seahawks 49ers game on that Saturday?
Yeah.
I get that the weather was horrible in that game, but every time Bryce Young throws the football, it looks like he's throwing a medicine ball. Like, why do you need that much effort into every throw and it only goes like 10 yards?
So getting ready for the Panthers-Seahawks game, I was looking up Bryce Young's stats from that Rams game and figuring out, okay, how did the Rams lose? How did the Panthers win? And the base thing was just that they won the turnover battle. But all of Bryce Young's touchdowns were 35 or more yards, including 2 of them that I think were they 40 yards? No, but 35 or more yards on fourth down conversions. And I thought, man, maybe he sneaky gets the ball downfield, and then you look anywhere outside of that game and you're like, oh no, it doesn't really throw the ball downfield a ton. So I think the Rams are going to get this one. TBD if they'll actually be the team Seattle faces, though. We'll talk about that a bit later in the show. Coming up next, are the Seahawks being disrespected?
The one and only Mark Schlereth with Wyman and Bob.
Could have been a bigger butt whipping, but the score didn't really tell you how one-sided it was.
With a depleted defense, you should be able to put up more points, but the two teams know each other exceptionally well. Robert Saleh is a damn good coordinator. I guess I just looked at how dominant overall the performance was, and hey, man, it's hard to win in the National Football League.
Get every can't-miss conversation on Seattle sports and the Seattle Sports app.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health. It's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, No missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
Want more Seahawks content? Join me, G. Scott, on The Reset. New episodes of the podcast every Monday and Thursday on YouTube or on the Seattle Sports app.
Do you need glasses or contacts and you're now at the age where you also need readers? K2 Vision RLE is the permanent solution to eliminate the need for all those. Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision. Andy, for those nearing age 50 or so, refractive lens exchange can be a great alternative to LASIK.
That's right, Joe. K2 Vision RLE is a terrific permanent solution for a lifetime of great vision. The older we get, we experience the dysfunction of our natural lens, which affects both distance vision and requires the use of reading glasses. Plus, after K2 Vision RLE, you will never develop a cataract.
And like LASIK, K2 Vision RLE is quick and painless. The question is, which procedure is right for you?
After replacing more than 100,000 failing lenses, we have the experience to tell you if it's your right time for RLE.
Schedule your free Zoom consultation with us about K2 Vision RLE to get your eyes seeing young again, permanently.
Go to k2visionrle.com. k2visionrle.com.
It's game time, and Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton are lining up with a roster that's built to dominate the field. The gas-powered RAV4, built to power through every drive, rain or shine. Or switch up the play with the hybrid RAV4, versatile, efficient, and always moving the chains. The Tacoma, tough, dependable, and clutch when it counts. And now, taking the field, the all-new 2026 Toyota Tundra, redesigned, powerful, and built for the big moments. Whether you're in the north or the south, Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton have your winning ride. Visit toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com.
What does VA mean to me?
A place for my daughter to call home. Thanks to the VA Home Loan.
A new lease on life. The best healthcare team I've ever had is here at VA.
And education, and the opportunity to open doors I never thought possible with my GI Bill.
The financial support I need to manage the disabilities I developed because of my service.
Get what you earned. Visit choose.va.gov.
Not all veterans are eligible for the type or amount of benefits mentioned here.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
You know, Curtis, I remember a couple years ago making fun of, I don't think Kirby Smart said it. I think it was actually a Georgia player, but he said something like, no one thought we'd be here. And you and I both actually thought, what? You're Georgia. Like, I don't know. Maybe not every single person.
Preseason number one.
Yeah, maybe not every single person had you winning a national championship game. But typically when I hear from, let's say, a wire-to-wire top 3 team in college football, or maybe it's a constantly winning franchise like the Yankees. Like if Aaron Judge ever came out and was like, no one thought we'd be here, you'd be like, God, yes, they did. Yes, they did. Not just Yankees fans, but like when you are a top team all the time, or when you're a top team that year, yeah, maybe not everyone, but you don't typically get to play the underdog card. You just don't. And I know that it allows all of us to add a chip on our shoulder, and so it's kind of nice, but usually it's wrong. I don't know that it is with the Seahawks. maybe I'm biased. Like maybe I'm actually doing exactly what Yankees, I don't know, sports radio would be doing out in New York if the Yankees were to make it. So
no one believes in
I
us.
will admit that maybe I have blinders on here. However, the Seattle Seahawks are not a team that fell backwards into a 1 seed. They are a 1 seed by virtue of luck or I know when people looked at like the Kansas City Chiefs last year that didn't have a great point differential. They still went to a Super Bowl. Didn't have a great point differential, but won 15 games, and people thought, look how that Raiders game ended.
Right.
Look how the Chargers game ended. Both of those teams should have beat you, and then these weird freak accidents happen, and you end up going 15-2. However, the Seahawks have the biggest point differential in the NFL. The Seahawks have beaten teams by an average of 2 scores this season, and they have lost their three losses by like a combined 9 points or something like that.
Yeah.
Not too much. They have the number 1 defense by DVOA, and it's also the number 1 scoring defense. They have an offense that finished top 3 in points per game, and even though some of that's weighted towards the first 10 games of the season. Okay, well, the critique that you had about the offense was turnovers in the run game consistency. Well, guess what? They've their 5 best games on the ground have been since week 10, so they're actually better in the run and heating up in the run than they were earlier this year. They're not really getting respected. You and I talked with Mike Yam of NFL Network earlier today, and I was like, yeah, Mike, maybe this is a silly question. They're a number 1 seed. They got 14 wins, but are they being disrespected?
It's complete BS, if I'm being honest with you. I mean, the national conversation all season long has been waiting for the other shoe to fall off with this team. Sam Darnold has not gotten nearly enough credit. And look, I think some of the criticism at times has been fair for Sam in his career if you haven't paid attention. Now, if you take a step back and you look holistically at some of his spots and where he was, I mean, look at just New York, for example. The Jets as an organization, it's abundantly clear where they are right now, and they've been this way for a really long period of time. A revolving door on that offensive line, different pieces at the wide receiver spot. He was not put in a position to succeed. Now, you can point to what happened at his end of his stay at Minnesota, and you look at those collapses late. Is that all on Sam? I don't know.
I don't think it is. And I think that because the Seahawks have not actually been there in 10 years, they've been consistently winning in the way that the Steelers have been consistently winning, but haven't actually been a number 1 seed since 2014 or been to a Super Bowl since 2014. Curtis, what do you think's at play here?
I think, there is a bit of disrespect. And I think, too, the Seahawks, even in winning 14 games, haven't necessarily been like the primetime darlings of the year where you look up and every week they're the Fox game of the week. I think they were maybe one time the Fox game of the week with like Tom Brady and Kevin Burkhardt on the call. I know that game against the Rams in LA was not a Tom Brady, Kevin Burkhardt game. So that one, for whatever reason, was not picked up by them. I think they played, one Sunday Night Football game this year?
I think so.
And, they didn't have the Joe Buck, Troy Aikman Monday Night Crew until the Saturday game to end the regular season.
And I understand that a lot of the primetime planning, barring flex games, happen before the season even starts. So that was based on a 10-win team that still didn't make the playoffs.
Right. And so I think just not having as many eyes on what the Seahawks are doing has led to a lot of people kind of
I see.
Maybe having to do a little bit of homework heading into the divisional round. Like, wait a minute, the Seahawks?
Yeah.
The Seattle Seahawks? We haven't seen them in this spot since Pete Carroll. Wait, Mike McDonald is their head coach, not Mike McDaniel?
Yeah.
This is kind of a strange spot to be. Wait, Sam Darnold is their quarterback?
Of the Jets? Of Jets fame?
Right, exactly. I think
a former mono patient?
Just kissing girls. That's the kissing disease. But I think so many people in the NFL media can't shake what a player has been for years and years and years and years.
Yes.
And then when they show themselves to be something different, they're like, well, who you were in 2018 is who you are in 2026.
Well, and look, we make narratives collectively as an NFL audience, as sports audiences, for almost anyone. Like, it wasn't long ago that Peyton Manning and Clayton Kershaw were choke artists. You know what I mean? Like, think of that. Peyton Manning and Clayton Kershaw.
Kershaw's got 3 rings.
We used to think, like, they can't get it done when it matters most. Like, we just kind of, even when you get to the highest levels of competition, we still have those ideas about certain people. Josh Allen won an MVP last season, and he and Lamar are still going to be, I can't beat Patrick Mahomes until they do. Now, that's not going to affect them during the regular season or heading into the playoffs. If you're a team that has lower expectations, like the Seahawks did to start the season, then, rather than saying, Mike McDonald's got to prove he can win a Super Bowl, well, it becomes, Seahawks have to prove they can beat the Rams. What do you mean? They just did.
Yeah.
We saw it. I saw it in 4K. We all saw it on Thursday night. And guess what? It was not just because Zach Charbonnet was polite and picked up a ball for a 2-point conversion. It was also because your defense stopped Matthew Stafford and forced back-to-back-to-back punts. It was also because your special teams, which you invest in less than any other team, that's on you. That's on you. The Seahawks are not making you spend less there. You missed a field goal. And that's also because Sam Darnold in the offense drove down the field in order to get that last touchdown and 2-point conversion in overtime.
It's funny because I think the Seahawks have the best resume of any team, best blind resume. You take away the logo, you take away the city name, you take away everything. You're just looking blind resume of teams. 14-3, best point differential in the NFL, number 1 scoring defense in the NFL.
Number 3 scoring offense.
Number 3 scoring offense.
DVOA.
If you had put those numbers up,
watch out.
But prior to the season and said, which team is this? You're probably thinking, Kansas City?
Yeah,
Baltimore? You're probably thinking Philadelphia. And it's like, no, that's the Seahawks. That's what they have done this season. And it is, I think, due in large part to what we thought they were going to be before the season. I'll raise my hand and say, I thought this Seahawks team's ceiling was probably 10 or 11 wins.
I did too.
I did not see 14 wins. I did not see the number 1 seed.
I thought get to the divisional round, and that was I was like, win a wild card, and that's a win for me.
But as we have talked about a lot on this show, expectations can change. Expectations don't have to be what they were prior to the season based off of how successful. Windows change. And the Seahawks title window was clearly more open than any of us thought it was going to be. And they passed the blind resume test. I think they also passed the eye test, especially with that defense and how good it has been. And I think that defense is going to keep them in every single game. And I think their offense, especially with this newfound running game, is going to have a much better time of it in the postseason than, say, the September-October Seahawks offense, which relied heavily on the pass.
Mike Yam is in lockstep with you, Curtis, on those points.
I think if Seattle was in a different market, had maybe a different logo on the front of their jersey, they would not be discussed this way by the national media, and it's disappointing. This defense has been dominant. There was a time this season where I thought JSN was going to be the offensive player of the year. I mean, heck, he still is in that conversation and in that running, and I know I mentioned Puka being the best wide receiver in the NFL. JSN's not far behind in my mind. The building blocks that McDonald has put together here, he would be my coach of the year so far this season.
Both of you are exactly right. Both of you are exactly right. If this team did not have that Seahawks logo, and this isn't like the Seahawks are a small market city. They're not a small market. I think they're like just outside the top 10. This is, they haven't proven it of late. That's what this is.
Yeah.
This is, they weren't one of the darlings of the NFL entering the season. They were a fine team, perfectly fine team.
Yeah.
I always say like Steelers of the West. Like they were a perfectly fine team that should be like competitive, but by no means were they like an analytics darling, a favorite of NFL analysts around the league. And now they are on paper. So people are like, well, Sam Darnold. But Sam Darnold.
Most Super Bowl teams or teams that get close to the Super Bowl, you can kind of see coming. Like you last year, the Eagles, they had been to the Super Bowl, 2 years prior? The Chiefs obviously have been the Chiefs. Heck, the Bengals, when they made it to the Super Bowl, Joe Burrow was an ascending quarterback. The 49ers have been super competitive over the last decade or so. This Seahawks team, their last division title was 2020. Their last playoff win was 2019 on the road against the Eagles. Their last home playoff win was 2016. It's been a long time since the Seahawks have been in this spot, and I think a lot of people have been caught off guard by it.
Someone said, what considers a small market? Honestly, in the NFL, very little, if anything, actually. I see it as completely different from MLB. This is unrelated. We need to get to Bold Take Friday because even though we are looking at a wild card weekend, we still need your predictions. 866-979-3776 coming up next.
The one and only Mark Schlereth with Wyman and Bob.
Could have been a bigger butt whipping, but the score didn't really tell you how one-sided it was.
With a depleted defense, you should be able to put up more points, but the two teams know each other exceptionally well. Robert Saleh is a damn good coordinator. I guess I just looked at how dominant overall the performance was, and hey, man, it's hard to win in the National Football League.
Get every can't-miss conversation on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Want to make 2026 your year of adventure? Book that trip and learn a new language with Babbel. Go ahead, make a resolution you can stick to. Now is the time. Babbel's New Year sale is here. Unlock all of the languages on Babbel with the lifetime subscription for 65% off. Just go to Babbel.com and start today. Babbel teaches you relevant words and phrases, so you can start speaking with confidence in as little as 3 weeks. And because Babbel's bite-sized lessons fit easily into your daily routine and are easy to remember, you'll be talking like a local in time for takeoff. Dive into the world of language learning content with Babbel's videos, podcasts, and stories from around the world, full of culture bites and language learning tips. Turn your daydream into a destination this year with Babbel. But don't wait. This offer ends January 15th. Get Babbel's lifetime access for less at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Hey everyone, did you hear? Seattle U took down the Huskies and the Cougs. Up next is a huge game for state bragging rights. Seattle U versus Gonzaga on January 17th at Climate Pledge Arena. Go to seattleu.com/tickets. Red Hawks rising.
At Cressy Door, we not only have the perfect garage door for your home, but we also offer options for creating space and even warming your outdoor areas. Check out your options at cressydoor.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. We've all been there. Sleepless nights, mind racing, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Video security, burglar alarms, fire alarms, access control, 24/7 monitoring, and more. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy, knowing we're here for you, your people, and your business. Visit bayalarm.com to talk to a local security expert. Bay Alarm, we got you.
Seattle Sports is giving you two chances to win tickets to the Seahawks divisional round playoff game at Lumen Field. Tap the Win tab in the Seattle Sports app or visit the Seattle Sports YouTube page for your chance to win a pair of tickets to the game.
Holy catfish!
That's 2 separate chances to be part of Seahawks history. Details and rules at seattlesports.com/win. From the home of the Seahawks.
Listen to the 12th man.
Seattle Sports.
This is the home of the Seahawks.
Going to let one fly deep. Got a man out there. Ball is caught down at the 10-yard line, and it's JSN.
Seattle Sports.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
Ooh, that face. Quantum fiber internet loves that face.
That's Jamila.
Hey, Jamila.
She's thinking outside the box from inside the box.
Quantum fiber Wi-Fi keeps her meeting game strong. From the back door to the front lawn.
Rushing all of her video calls. Back to back to back video calls.
Quantum fiber internet blowing the socks off all those people in
today at quantumfiber.com. Additional pods may be needed to achieve Wi-Fi coverage in some locations. Limited availability. Service in select locations only.
Happy New Year, Susan. I really appreciate you picking up the bill for lunch.
I'm happy to. One of my New Year's resolutions is being better with money. So I've started using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for buying gas.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I earn cash back just for buying the gas I was already buying.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make $200 to $300 this year.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play and start earning cash back on everyday gas purchases. Use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents per gallon on your next fill up. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RIDER. Code RIDER.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
It's time for Bold Take Friday.
Get your bold takes in for Bold Take Friday. This one about mostly the wild card weekend. 866-979-3776. Get those in right now. Okay, I've already got a couple. Curtis, do you have a bold take Seahawks related or wild card related?
Well, I mean, it's hard for the Seahawks to have bold take when they don't play this week. So I'll give you a wild card one. I'll even give you a Peach Bowl one today. Okay. I'm just saying, feeling a little dangerous.
Well, that's interesting because I feel like a bold take about the Peach Bowl would be an upset, and I know you like Indiana for the national title game.
Well, I'll start with my wild card bold take because that is obviously going to be the most impactful for what the Seahawks want to do in their pursuit of a championship this year. But I'm looking at this slate of games and Rams-Panthers. I want to pick the Panthers, but I don't see it happening. I think the Rams are going to take that one for sure. But I look at that Packers-Bears game, and the Bears have been the darlings of the NFL this season, winning so many close games. Caleb Williams pulling a rabbit out of the hat week in and week out. Ben Johnson has his guys super excited. They do their good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better. Your better is best.
God,
every
I wish I had
week.
a deeper voice. I would talk like that all the time.
Every week in the locker room, they're doing that. But I don't think the Bears good beats the Packers best on Saturday. I think the Green Bay Packers get the victory. They win it 24-21, and they are your Seahawks divisional round opponents. Book it.
I predicted Packers, that makes sense because that one's kind of a toss-up, but I like that specific prediction, 23-21, get it done. Not enough for the Bears, who don't turn the ball over and take the ball away a ton, but I almost just spoiled our quiz also. Oh, Matt. I forgot to tell you, Bump's out sick today. You're playing for Bump.
Oh, boy. Well, Bump would have lost today anyway, so.
I'll tell you guys what. Matt can work the hell out of a board and produce heck out of a show, but does not watch sports.
Are Matt's questions
Matt's job isn't to watch
soundboard-related?
Sports. No. Matt's job isn't to watch sports, so just before anyone gets on Matt, he knows a lot about Doctor Who, the Marvel Universe.
I know a lot about useless
and a lot
things.
about audio production and producing sound. But the same thing I just said twice. But sports aren't a strength, so I love that you're filling in for Bump today.
That makes one of us.
Okay. Next bold take. My bold take, says the 360, is that LA loses to Carolina by a last-minute field goal. Now, listen.
Is it Carolina making the field goal, or is it LA shanking one?
Either way, I'll allow it to be right from that 360.
I would love it if the Rams missed one. I think that's more heartbreaking than watching a game-winning kick go through the uprights.
I agree.
Like what the Ravens went through this week.
I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, it's tough. That's tough. The Panthers are 10.5-point underdogs, and I think the Rams cover that.
Yeah. It's funny because
a blowout.
In a lot of instances, when you get a team as outmatched as this Panthers team is heading into the wild card round, we here in Seattle know
Us
firsthand, yes, us Seattleites know firsthand just how crazy those games can be. The Beastquake, the Seahawks were, I think, double-digit point underdogs to the defending champion New Orleans Saints that
it got
day.
rowdy.
It very much did.
Do you remember where you were during that game?
Yeah, I was still living I think I was in high school.
We were young. I was
Yeah.
like a freshman in college.
Yeah,
Was I?
so
Yes.
I think I was maybe a senior in high school at that time. But I definitely remember that play, and I remember thinking, oh, Marshawn, they're just going to try and drain as much clock as possible here. And it looked like he got stuffed to the line, just kind of gave up on the play. And then, turn around, and then you look back at the TV and you hear the announcer just losing his mind. It's like, whoa, what's going on here? And then obviously everybody's losing their mind, high-fiving, hugging, and one of the great moments in franchise history.
Bold take, says another listener. Every road team wins. So
Ooh.
Packers. So for the
Packers,
whole
Rams,
wild card?
Niners.
That is very bold, Texter. Okay.
So if the Packers,
you play the
Rams,
Packers,
you
obviously,
would play the Packers, and then it would be the Rams hosting. No, it'd be the Niners hosting the Rams then in the divisional round,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Well, no, where did the Eagles come in?
No,
they'd get beaten by the 40. Yes, sorry, you're
they
right.
would
You're
get
right.
beaten by the Niners.
425 says, I was in jail watching that game. LOL.
Oh, all right. So
Matt went.
More info. What are we doing with this segment?
For
Get this
what?
guy in the line.
So I will say, they do broadcast at least the radio feed in jail around here.
Lots of big Wyman and Rabel fans.
Yeah, because my dad has somebody that he knows that was in prison for a while and went to visit him, and was like, "Hey, that Curtis Rogers, is that your Curtis Rogers?"
Oh.
And my dad was like, "Hey, so apparently they broadcast Seahawks games
That's awesome.
in prison."
Bold take. Packers beat Bears by 10 plus.
Wow.
Okay.
Just a blowout.
Bears. Someone said in your best quiz voice. Are you able to do that on air?
Bears.
I'm proud of you. Let's see. So we've got more. A lot of them are Panthers beating the Rams. I don't mean not to read every text, but I think that's the most common bold take. And then I had one about the Chargers, the Chargers upsetting the Patriots. I don't see that one happening, but that is bold. I would say that's the AFC version.
You want my Peach Bowl bold take?
Wait, didn't you say that? Or yes, I do.
Yeah. I think Indiana, they've dominated all season long.
Mm-hmm.
There really hasn't been a team that has come close to beating them. Tonight, Oregon is not that team. It's Indiana.
Cackling. All right. Well, we have a lot planned during today's show. Speaking of Oregon and Indiana, we are going to, in just a couple of minutes, be joined by ESPN's Adam Rittenberg. Yes, we have questions about Damon Williams, which is the biggest story locally. But Curtis and I, obviously college football fans, we want to ask about last night's Fiesta Bowl. We want to ask about who he's taking from the Peach Bowl. We want to ask about the changing landscape in college football. So we got a lot of questions for Adam. And then we will get back to the Seahawks and some interesting things from MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred from yesterday. That's coming up at 11:30 in the timeline. Don't go anywhere.
The one and only Mark Schlereth with Wyman and Bob.
Could have been a bigger butt whipping, but the score didn't really tell you how one-sided it was.
With a depleted defense, you should be able to put up more points, but the two teams know each other exceptionally well. Robert Saleh is a damn good coordinator. I guess I just looked at how dominant overall the performance was, and hey, man, it's hard to win in the National Football League.
Get every can't-miss conversation on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Winter's here, Seattle. Is your roof ready? Get $500 off by scheduling your free estimate at 3treeroofing.com. Let us make your roofing project easy this winter. Our certified crews deliver worry-free installations backed by industry-leading warranties, even in the rainy season. 3Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Hey, it's Dr. Coogan with Eastside Weight Loss. It's a new year and a perfect time to make the changes you've been dreaming of. Don't let those old habits and frustrations hold you back any longer. Our proven program gives you dedicated health coaches, ongoing support, real accountability, and a step-by-step detailed plan to help you lose 20 to 30 pounds in just a couple months with no drugs, shots, exercise, or fake food. Imagine more energy, better health, losing fat, fitting perfectly into your favorite clothes, and being down 20 or more pounds by March. Remove the stress of trying to do this on your own and book your free consultation at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Mike Salk here, inviting you to kick off the new year with a weight loss plan that's healthy and works really well. I used it to lose 35 pounds over 8 weeks. I was losing a pound a day. You go to eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Join the 4,000 clients who we've helped lose 20 to 30 pounds in 60 days. Our remote programs allow you to lose weight from anywhere you live. Schedule your free consultation at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary. Live professional boxing is back with the main event, February 6th at Emerald Queen Casino. Get ready for an electrifying night of professional boxing. The main event, powered by WFC, February 6th, only at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation, so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
More than 4,000 women are diagnosed with breast cancer every year in Washington state. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda with Northwest Hope and Healing. We provide a lifeline to breast and gynecologic cancer patients, and you can help us make a difference. Join us for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of wine tasting and inspiration on January 31st at Mary Hill Winery in Woodinville's Wine Country. Get your tickets now for Cork, Fork, and Support. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The weirdest college football story of late just had another twist. 4 days after signing a contract, Damon Williams entered the transfer portal, and now Williams is coming back to Washington. In a statement, head coach Jed Fish said, quote, "Over the last few days, Damon and I have engaged in very honest and heartfelt conversations. We'll work to begin the process of repairing relationships and regaining the trust of the Husky community." Elsewhere in college football, hey, there was a game last night. The Miami Hurricanes have gone from being left out of the playoff picture entirely for the penultimate ranked rankings to being in the national championship game after a win over Ole Miss. Today, number 1 Indiana takes on number 5 Oregon in the Peach Bowl at 4:30.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. ESPN's Adam Rittenberg joining us right now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Adam, I got a lot of questions about Damon Williams and Washington, but because that's going to be probably the bulk of this interview, I have to start by asking you about last night's game, your reaction to a wild Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah, it was an awesome game, and certainly the finish down the stretch, those offenses came alive. We saw a little bit of Trinidad magic there from Ole Miss, and then Miami was able to counter it. They're a better team all night. Line of scrimmage, they were able to finish drives, which they didn't do as well in their first 2 playoff games, and so great moment for them. And now to go home and play for a national championship on their home field, it'll be incredibly exciting no matter who they face.
Adam, do we dare say that the selection committee got it right with Miami, even though there was so much controversy over their selection? Can we crown them? Can we say that the selection committee actually did the right thing?
Yeah, I think it was. Again, I think the hindsight debate was really more about Alabama and the SEC. And I'm talking with some colleagues this week about how the result that messed everything up was Alabama losing at home to Oklahoma, a team that it subsequently beat in the playoff, and that cluttered up the playoff field with too many SEC teams, and we've seen what's happened. But the debate really should have been Alabama. And Miami, certainly with the head-to-head result over Notre Dame, it was hard to knock them not being in the playoff, and they've certainly justified. I think they've been a team that has shown why a 12-team field is necessary, because you can lose some games, you can still finish strong, and then when it really matters, you can show just how good of a team you are, which they've obviously done.
We've got another today, obviously, number 1 Indiana against number 5 Oregon. This one has not been played yet, so maybe I'm jumping the gun here, but I think both Curtis and I kind of expect it to be Indiana not just advancing, but winning it all. Is that kind of your prediction right now, or are you favoring Miami or Oregon?
Yeah, it's my prediction, but I'm not feeling as good about it as we get closer. A lot of people are pointing to the difficulty of a team, beating the same opponent twice in the same season, especially when it's a conference opponent, and Oregon's talent level, which is certainly impressive, especially along the line of scrimmage. Any team that's going to beat Indiana has to be great up front, run the ball, keep the ball, not make a lot of mistakes. So Oregon's going to have to play a lot better than they did the first time around, but they're certainly capable of that. And Kurt Signetti talks about Oregon's defensive front and the depth, especially in the interior. It's going to be harder for Indiana to run the ball. They didn't run the ball great in the first meeting. But what I like about Indiana is they don't deviate from that. They're not going to abandon the run. And when they're in position to finish drives, they've been exceptional this year. And Oregon, even though they haven't allowed a lot of teams in the red zone, they haven't been great at preventing red zone touchdowns. So that's a key. If Indiana can get inside the 20, decent amount tonight, they should be in good shape.
Adam, the biggest story out here this week has been the Damon Williams saga. He signs his NIL deal with Washington, then 4 days later enters his name in the portal. Washington says, no, that's a signed contract. You've got to stay here. There's some legal activities going on. And then Williams yesterday makes the announcement that he's returning to Washington. In your years covering college football, or maybe just your years covering the NIL era of college football, what did you make of this entire ordeal from start to finish? Because our heads are still spinning. I imagine everybody's heads are still spinning across college football.
Sure. You guys are right there on the ground and how localized it is, but certainly gained a lot of national attention because everyone's asking, are these contracts enforceable? And at the end of the day, they were. And I think that can be a good thing going forward for college football to create a little bit of order, because that would have been such a disruptive move if you think about it. It would have disrupted Washington, which has built its entire team, or entire offense, rather, around Damon going forward. It certainly could have affected 2 or 3 other teams and their plans at quarterback, depending on where he went and how that impacted some of these other decisions that could be made here in the next few weeks. So it's now the fascinating part is, how does he reintegrate into that program when a lot of people are upset with him? How is the relationship with Jed Fish? and everyone that's around the Washington team now. But I think from a broader view, it does show that in this case, a contract that was agreed upon was able to be enforced. And probably the best thing that happened, certainly for Washington, was that he's coming back.
I wanted to kind of focus on that last part. We were talking with a friend who thought, should Washington have forced him to do this? Maybe that's awkward for all parties. And while all three of us, obviously Curtis just asked you, kind of know that that's true. I also, Curtis and I were talking about it yesterday, I don't know that they had other options. And technically, you're wanting to improve in 2026. You're building something. You had a little bit of momentum. It just felt like something they had to do, even if it's uncomfortable.
Sure. I mean, they had other options, but it would have been starting from scratch.
Yeah.
I mean, Washington has built towards this season with DeMond Williams as the quarterback. That's why they started him as a freshman in their toughest game in 2024 against Oregon on the road and then in the bowl game. That's why they get him going this year as a full-time starter. It's all building towards a potential breakthrough in 2026. And if you don't have him, then, who are you getting? And is that person going to fit the system and everything that Jed Fish wants to do the way that DeMond Williams has? He followed him from Arizona. Like, he's been their guy. And so I think that's why it gives them a chance to repair this. But he was going to leave for the money. I mean, it's very obvious. Yeah. It wasn't necessarily a better situation. He's going to leave for the money, and then you can get over that at some point. It certainly would have been hard for Washington, even though they would have found someone to play quarterback. It's certainly a better situation to have DeMond as the guy.
How long do you think college football can thrive in this environment without more regulation on this kind of stuff? Because it feels like it's just kind of everybody for themselves right now. There's no guidance from anybody at the top of the NCAA. How much longer do you think this can continue without maybe any sort of unionization or a CBA in place? Because it feels like fans right now are really getting fed up with just the constant turnover, whether it be coaches moving on from better or for better opportunities or players moving on for better opportunities. There's just no continuity anymore in the game.
Yeah, I mean, there's not going to be a lot of continuity unless you get to full-blown employment contracts with terms that everyone agrees to. Hey, if you want to play for me for 1 year and then we'll reassess, we both agree to it. If we both agree to 2 years, then I've got you for 2 years. Until we get to there's going to be a lot of this type of situation. But I would say it was interesting how involved the Big Ten was. This is one of their members. They try to get involved in the Wisconsin situation with the defensive back who got ejected for targeting last night for Miami. But the fact that the Big Ten was successful in enforcing this contract for one of its members, I do wonder how that impacts some of the other conferences and having standardized contracts and being involved when you have these situations, which certainly occur. But this one was one that gained a lot of attention right away.
You mentioned, hey, I don't think that we're going to get more guidance, more guardrails until it's a more official employment situation where there's contracts and all those things. Do you see it going in that direction, or is it probably going to just stay in this in-between straddling the fence place?
I do think it gets there eventually. I think it's cleaner. You're still going to have some obstacles in terms of the calendar. You mentioned coaches leaving. That's always going to happen after a regular season. I think it's going to be difficult to move the portal, even though I think there's the Big Ten, for example, wanted it in the spring. Maybe after this cycle, there will be more support for moving that. But I'd imagine you're still going to have a lot of player movement after the regular season before the winter or spring academic term. And so there's always going to be those elements, but I certainly think employment would be a cleaner way to run the sport.
We've heard from a lot of head coaches across college football about how inconvenient the calendar is, where the portal is. You mentioned it, where it falls right now. It's the start of January, runs to the 16th. And then also the bowl schedule, too. The college football playoffs starting weeks after the regular season, maybe teams getting a little rusty with all that time off. How soon do you think we will look at the college football schedule and maybe kind of revise it and make it a little more streamlined? Because it does seem like it's from a bygone era, and I think now a lot of teams really want to have, a more streamlined schedule and get things done a little earlier.
Well, again, you have to have support, throughout the board for that. Again, will the portal move to the spring? A lot more conferences have to get on board. I think the actual schedule of games can be adjusted starting earlier. Having the playoffs throughout November, not having the Army-Navy exclusive weekend where that's the only game played, along with some smaller bowl games. So to really maximize the month of December to try to get the season over around now instead of 12 days from now. So I think that's something that is a relatively painless fix that college football could do. But, as we know, oftentimes those things take a long time.
Speaking of, we've talked during most of this conversation about kind of like, well, if college football can figure this out, if they can get to this place, then these kinds of things won't happen. And I know that you said, Adam, hey, I expect it to get there. It's just cleaner. Who's in charge of steering that? Is it the NCAA needs to have and display better leadership? Are they hamstrung in different ways? That means this needs to go through courts. How does college football guide itself to the future? Who's in charge here?
Yeah. I mean, and that's the problem is that there's certainly conference interest, and the commissioners of those conferences are very, very important. I've talked to coaches who will say they come out of their meeting at the annual coaches convention unified on issues, and then it goes nowhere. Or they're unified as a group there, and then they meet as a conference in May and June, and then they're divided again. The Football Oversight Committee obviously controls some of this, but it's not a effective model anymore in terms of making quick changes and being nimble, given how rapidly the sport's changed.
Adam, one stat I saw about Indiana and their roster is that the average age on their roster is 23 years old, which is just, I think, a couple of years younger than the youngest team in the NFL. And then obviously Miami, they've dipped into the portal a ton over the years. Their starting quarterback Carson Beck has been in college since 2020. Is this the new way of roster building in college football, is just loading up with veteran talent? We're not going to see as many freshmen and sophomores with bigger roles. Is this just kind of the road we're down now in college football?
Yeah, I think a lot of programs are seeing the advantage of that. Certainly Indiana has done that and continues to do that. If you saw what they accomplished in the portal, especially on Sunday, getting ready for this game, they're already loading up with experienced players for the 2026 season, and Miami's done a good job of that. But Miami's also recruited well out of high school. Oregon, who Indiana plays tonight, has done a really nice job of recruiting and fast-tracking certain players. The Ducks have a number of first, second, and third-year players who are contributing in big ways. So I don't think there's exactly one model to do it, but I think at programs where you're not right there with the huge talent pockets and maybe don't have the tradition, the portal is a very effective way to get competitive nationally.
As a Husky, I'm kind of rooting against Oregon. I used to kind of think, oh, well, the health of the Pac-12, but now that's not something I'm worried about. I'm rooting against Oregon to get to a championship because that's the one thing that they can't claim yet, even though I really like Dan Lanning. They might. They're a really good team, and my Dogs are unfortunately still working their way up. So how does Washington get there? And I don't just mean to a championship. I mean more consistently being ranked in the top 20.
Yeah, so from Washington's standpoint, I mean, again, they were a young team in many ways this year, and they have to, again, keep the roster together. That was a big thing in talking to Jed a few times this fall. That are they going to have the financial commitment to do that? Are they going to keep the core pieces? And for the most part, they've been able to do that. I think line of scrimmage play is always going to jump out. Oregon has thrived in that area. Indiana has gotten much, much better at the line of scrimmage. I think that's where Washington can grow. It was a big part of the success, obviously, in 2023 under Kalen DeBoer. How is this offensive line going to get better? Is Washington going to have a disruptive defensive lineman or two that everyone's afraid of every time it's 3rd and 8? So I think those areas are going to be important. The skill, the offensive structure, the play calling, I think with Jed in charge, should always be a strength.
Adam, last one from me. The NFL coaching carousel has opened with a quarter of the league looking for new head coaches. How do you think that impacts some of the bigger name college coaches? Do you think anybody makes that leap this year going from the college game to the pro game?
I think with Marcus Freeman already saying that he's coming back to Notre Dame, it's less likely, but it's always possible. I think the NFL coaching pool is not as robust as it is in some years with their assistant coaches. Obviously, a guy like John Harbaugh is a different situation coming on the market. But, there's obviously some buzz around Steve Sarkisian at Texas. And maybe that could still happen. I don't think so, but you can't rule anything out. Given how many NFL jobs are open. And like I said, with a thinned out candidate pool a little bit. But I think with Marcus is the guy that a lot of NFL teams have looked at, even though he doesn't have NFL coaching experience, to potentially lead an NFL organization. And we know he'll be back in Notre Dame this coming fall.
ESPN's Adam Rittenberg. Adam, right before we let you go, tell listeners where they can find more work from you.
Yeah, sure. Go to ESPN's college football page. I have a big story up today about Curt Cignetti and how he evaluates talent as his own general manager, talking to some of his assistants. And follow me on X at ESPN Rittenberg.
A timely column. Fascinating head coach. Thanks so much, Adam.
Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, guys.
See ya. Let's get to 4 Down territory.
This is 4 Down territory, going inside the game. What former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
So, Stacy, to substitute for Bump's absence today.
How dare he get sick?
A bug's been going around the building.
Yeah.
Our loyal board op Matt Nelson just returning from
being
worked down
himself
with the sickness.
sick.
Oh, wow.
And now you're making him talk on air. That's a great host decision.
That's
Curtis.
it. You can hear it in
what's
his
the
voice.
first question?
First question. We're making picks.
First down, actually.
Yeah, first down, Matt. You ever
Ever
if you were
produced
here,
the Bump and Stacy show before?
Yeah, if you were here more
some
often,
of the worst episodes you'll ever hear.
First down.
We're making our picks
We're
for
making
4
picks.
wildcard games.
Stacey, let's start with the Bills and Jags.
Okay.
On the AFC side.
Something I learned from ESPN had their feature for this one. The Bills have never won a road playoff game under Sean McDermott. They're 0-5 there.
Wow.
Now, I think that the biggest reason, and this is unsurprising to anyone, that you should, feel good about the Bills' chances in this one is obviously Josh Allen. Last year's MVP has not had a bad season by any means. He and James Cook, the offense as a whole, has been perfectly fine. A little inconsistent, especially when you look at their receiver group and receiver depth. That's kind of been from week one a question for them, with criticism about why they didn't do more at the trade deadline or in the offseason. But it's Josh Allen, man. And Josh Allen is a special player. However, I don't think that you are just going with the hot hand and going with the sexy, trendy pick. If you go Jags here, that's actually who I'm taking in this game. While I think that James Cook can get going, while I think that Josh Allen is absolutely undeniable and can take over a game by himself, and we've seen that. I mean, just earlier this year, he had 6 touchdowns in a game. I don't like this Bills run defense. The Jags are not an elite run team, but they are a hot offense right now. And man, that stat's sticking with me. It was from Elena Rittenberg that 0-5 on the road in the playoffs that's a tough look.
Yeah.
I kind of want this. I want this for either team. I wish both teams could advance. I find them to be likable franchises. Neither franchises won a Super Bowl. But I like Jacksonville in this one. What about you?
I also like Jacksonville. In fact, I have Jacksonville going all the way to the Super Bowl out of the AFC. They've just been the most consistent team in the AFC for about half the season now. And not only are they winning, but they're winning convincingly. They're beating good teams. They went on the road and beat a Denver team by 2 scores. And look, people will point to some of the quality of the teams they've beaten this year, the Raiders, the Cardinals. Both those games went to overtime. The Jags still beat them, but they blew out the Titans. They beat up on a Colts team that just was not the same in the second half. They beat up on the Jets. They've beaten the Niners in San Francisco. They beat the Chiefs when the Chiefs were at their healthiest this season. So they have a wide variety of wins this year. But ultimately, I think they are a really good team and a team you've got to take notice of. And winning this time of year, winning that many games in a row, I think counts for something. I think the Jags right now are the best team in the AFC.
Next up.
All right, Stacy, our second pick. Chargers at the Patriots.
I'm going Pats with this one. I know that everyone's kind of waiting to see them fall because of their very, very, very weak schedule this year, but I think they are legitimately a very, very good team. I expect them to advance past the Chargers. Also from ESPN, the Chargers have used 29 different offensive line combinations, and they rank last in pass block win rate. I don't feel good. I feel good about Justin Herbert as a franchise player. I don't feel good about Justin Herbert against the Patriots in this one.
Yeah, I am in agreement with you. I think it is going to be the Patriots getting the victory. Pro Football Focus had the sacks allowed by each offensive line this season among the playoff teams. Broncos only allowed 6 sacks this year. That's stupid.
That's stupid.
That's
dumb.
ridiculous. The team that
6?
has allowed
There's no way.
6. The Seahawks have only allowed 13. Yeah. They're tied with the Patriots and Bears for second fewest allowed. The team that is the most allowed by a wide margin, the LA Chargers, 29. And offensive line play is going to be huge this time of year. And the Chargers down both starting tackles, Joel and Rashawn Slater.
I've always said you need tackles in football.
Look, it's hard to win with just 3 offensive linemen.
You simply can't.
I don't think the Chargers are going to get it done. I think it's the Patriots.
Next up.
All right, 49ers, Eagles. This might be the toughest game to pick of the weekend. I think both these teams are pretty good.
I'm going Eagles on this one. I think that the 49ers had great performances back-to-back in prime time against Indy, against the Bears. They showed that they can still roll over teams offensively, even without lots of players defensively. It was like, you know what? You're going to run on us. Oh, you're going to score on us, and you're going to take advantage of a lack of pass rush. No problem. We can drop 40 points in a game. They did not do that against Seattle. And not only did they not do that against Seattle, they felt like a team that had finally run out of gas. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that was the byproduct of an electric and completely dominant Seattle defense, and then they bounced back against the Eagles, but I like Philly in this one.
I am going to take the Niners in this one because Philadelphia's offense has been so hot and cold this season. They had a pretty decent start to the year, getting off that 4-0 start, but you look at the point totals that they've put in the second half of this season, 10, 16, 21, 15, 19. They beat the Raiders 31-0, the Commanders 29-18, but then only beat the Bills by scoring 13 points, scored 17 against the Commanders. Yes, Tanner McKee played most of that game for Philadelphia in Week 18, but their offense has not really shown up for the majority of this season, and especially in the season's second half. I just don't see their offense all of a sudden finding that magic and putting up the point totals that they did last year at this time of the year. So I think the 49ers get some revenge for that NFC Championship game from a few years ago against the Eagles team.
And last up, we'll go quickly with this one. I don't think it'll take very long at all.
Rams at the Panthers.
Yeah, the Panthers are 10-point underdogs here, and I think that the Rams beat them soundly. So, unfortunately.
I think so, too.
It would be fun.
Go Panthers, though.
Yeah. MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred went on New York's WFA on Thursday and was very candid about some of the biggest issues facing baseball. That's next.
Are people ready, Brock?
Brock and Salk.
Playoff football back in Seattle? It's been a while.
Morning 6 to 10.
Since we've had like the full deal, everybody full-throated, as loud as it gets.
Being in the building for their last home game to beat the Rams, and that place that night, Salk, took me back to the Green Bay NFC title game. It had that kind of juice in the building. Yeah, I think the folks will be ready.
Only on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Stacy here to tell you that I've had a horrible experience buying and selling a car, so I know a good one when I see it. And that's why I want to tell you about Wayscar Ford in Auburn. These are real people, Mark and Chris and Way himself. Way is real. I know them and you will too. And they want you to have a hassle-free, no-pressure experience when you're looking to sell your car or buy a new one. And let me tell you what, trusting and knowing the people you're working with is massive. Again, I really did sell my old car years ago to this place that absolutely ripped me off. And I wish I would have known about Wayscar Ford's vehicle profit sharing program. Here's how it works. You bring in your car, they'll give you a true evaluation. If you accept the offer, they pay you the same day for your used car. Then, once they resell your old car, they split any profit they make with you, 50-50. The program is a win-win for everyone. Wayscar Ford gets to save money on auction fees and travel expenses, and then you get to avoid scams and hassle. Plus, you can upgrade to a new model from their vast inventory like I did. I personally recommend a Bronco Sport. Absolutely my favorite vehicle I've ever driven. They've just surpassed sharing over $1 million with people who have sold them their cars. Find out how you can do it too at wayscarford.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Want to make 2026 your year of adventure? Book that trip and learn a new language with Babbel. Go ahead, make a resolution you can stick to. Now is the time. Babbel's New Year sale is here. Unlock all of the languages on Babbel with the lifetime subscription for 65% off. Just go to Babbel.com and start today. Babbel teaches you relevant words and phrases, so you can start speaking with confidence in as little as 3 weeks. And because Babbel's bite-sized lessons fit easily into your daily routine and are easy to remember, you'll be talking like a local in time for takeoff. Dive into the world of language learning content with Babbel's videos, podcasts, and stories from around the world, full of culture bites and language learning tips. Turn your daydream into a destination this year with Babbel. But don't wait. This offer ends January 15th. Get Babbel's lifetime access for less at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
The home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports. Touchdown, Seahawks! Ken Walker III. Get everything Seahawks at seattlesports.com.
Sometimes we hang on to our old attorneys and coaches too long. They've been around, they've done good work. But when the legal game changes, you need a team that is hungry to win now. At Bible Law Group, we're that faster, hard-hitting legal team, ready to fight for every inch in the courtroom. With over 40 million closed for our clients, we know how to win, and we're ready to take on the biggest legal case of your career with you. Don't stick with a playbook that's gone stale. Switch to the legal team that's ready to win now. Let Bible Law Group be your linebacker in the courtroom. Find us online at BibleLawGroup.com.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor. You visit urgent care over and over again. And it's always the same thing, right? Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and some nasal sprays. But they just keep coming back. You may suffer with chronic sinus infections. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure called the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic. Imagine a procedure so delicate there are no narcotics. Less cutting means less bleeding, so no packing, and no operating room. The Sinusoft procedure is designed for the clinic. If you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, and congestion, find out if the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic, is the solution for you. Call and set an appointment today. 206-388-2770. 206-388-2770. That's 206-388-2770.
Emerald Queen Casino Event Center presents the main event. Powered by WFC, Friday night, February 6th. A night of professional boxing where champions are made and every punch counts. Contenders from the region go toe-to-toe, ready to prove they belong at the top. Tickets at EmeraldQueen.com. Don't miss Fight Night, February 6th at Emerald Queen Casino, the boxing capital of the Northwest. 21 and older, need gambling help? Call 800-547-6133 or visit EmeraldQueen.com.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
Brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
It is The Timeline on Bump and Stacy. Curtis Rogers in for Michael Bumpus today, and we are going to head to baseball, so you're probably happy about this, Curtis. MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred.
It's Rob Manfred.
It's Rob Manfred, so maybe not. He went on New York's WFN on Thursday and was very candid about some of the biggest issues facing the game, so let's dive in ourselves. First, Rob Manfred would like to see baseball add 2 more teams and realign the divisions.
I would like to expand. I think 32 would be good for us. And, fundamentally, there's a lot of cities like to have Major League Baseball. When people want your product, you ought to try to, find a way to sell it to them. It's kind of basic. Number one. Number two, it does a ton of for us from a format perspective. You would realign you would do it along geographic lines, which could alleviate a ton of the travel burden that's on players. Remember, we ask our players 162 times in 186 days. So most of the play between 162 and 186 travel, right? I mean, so you can eliminate a lot of that travel, make it less burdensome, which would be a great thing in terms of player health and safety.
I
love it.
Don't know that I have an issue with realignment. Certainly not with adding 2 teams, but also not with realignment.
And especially with the travel schedule that the Mariners have. Like, if you could cut down on the trips to the East Coast and play more West Coast teams like, Colorado, Arizona, San Diego, San Francisco, have more of those trips rather than, sending – look, I learned this stat a couple of years ago, and it blew my mind. You know which team is the furthest away from the Houston Astros geographically?
Seattle.
The Mariners.
I'm only
and
guessing
they're in the
that because
same
you said
division.
that. I would not have guessed that had you not prefaced it
The
with
Mariners are the furthest team away from the Houston Astros in all of Major League Baseball, and they're in the same division. That makes no sense to me.
I think Seattle fans can uniquely understand why realignment would be pretty awesome. Cutting down on, for the Seahawks, for the Mariners, you are the top, outside of international games, you are the top traveled game every single year, more miles than anyone else.
I think Mariners fans should be celebrating hearing the commissioner say that he would love to realign geographically.
Next up, Manfred, a little more on realigning, talking about how East versus West realignment would help us with playoff TV numbers so that, I love this, East Coast fans don't have to stay up so late.
If you played geographically, we get in a postseason, we have those 4 window days that I love, right? You get 4 baseball games in a day. It's awesome. But when you think about the fans in the individual markets, you always end up with, because of the way we're set up, you get Boston versus Anaheim in one of the early rounds. So you're either going to be too late for the fans in Boston or too early. So if you realign geographically, you would look more like other sports where you play up East into the World Series and West into the World Series. And that 10 o'clock game on the West Coast that sometimes is a problem for us becomes a primetime game on the West Coast for the 2 teams that are playing. So there's a lot of advantages to it.
Now, I, again, said that I don't oppose realignment at all. Could be in favor of it. So this isn't me disagreeing with Manfred. I will disagree with him on this one thing, though. I don't think it's ever too early for West Coast fans. This isn't about, unless you're talking about like, they're playing in Japan and you got to wake up at 5 a.m. to watch it. This is specifically for East Coast fans. There is never a time when it's like, well, of course you have West Coast fans that, they don't want to watch a game at 5 p.m. Like, you got to rush home. But, like, this is about East Coast fans not wanting them to have to stay up until 10 to watch the start of a game.
Yeah, and then you had, what was it, game 3
or
game
Series.
4 of the World Series that
went until like 2 a.m.
deep into the night. I will say the only complaint I have heard from West Coast baseball fans about playoff start times, and we heard it here when the Mariners were in the Tigers series. I think it was game 4 of that series that was in the middle of the day. It was like a 1 o'clock local time first pitch here in Seattle. People were like, well, it's in the middle of the workday. How am I going to take time off to watch this game? So if you did have a more East versus West realignment, then those games would happen probably around like 7 p.m. West Coast time rather than 4 p.m. East Coast time, 1 p.m. West Coast time. So it does make a little bit more sense, but also I don't think you're asking East Coast fans to do too much in terms of staying up. And by the way, Major League Baseball had their most watched World Series in ages this year with 2 teams that don't really have a whole lot of history against one another, the Dodgers and Blue Jays, but obviously the star power of the Dodgers. And I mean, there's some stars on that Blue Jays roster as well.
Good playoffs in
general.
general.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was a fantastic playoff start to finish.
He also spoke about the lack of off-season activity and one potential solution for it.
The proposal really was not about trying to alter the terms of deals one direction or another. I'm kind of a believer in you have a deadline. You're going to make the same deal, give or take, if you string it out. I think the reason I was interested in, I think that like from the 1st of December to the 20th if we had a period in there when all that free agency activity went on, it's a great marketing opportunity for the game at a point in the calendar when, you're not quite in the NFL playoffs. The NBA's still kind of early. And, it's a great chance to kind of own some off-season weeks, which is crucial to selling tickets, selling season tickets.
How would you feel about a free agent signing deadline in the end of December?
I don't know. I don't think it would accomplish what Manfred is hoping it would, because then you're limiting the offseason conversation around these teams to a much smaller time. Because, we're still talking about who the Mariners might be able to add right now for their 2026 opening day roster. And we're about a month away from pitchers and catchers reporting.
Mm-hmm.
If you impose a signing deadline for free agency, all of a sudden those conversations at this point of the year get dwindled down significantly to where you're only looking at the trade market at that point. I don't think it's going to accomplish what Manfred kind of hopes.
No, and I think the players' union is more in line with you with that one. My friend Rob, saying that the players' union has been against that.
What they said back, I can only tell you what they said. I don't know what was in their heads, but what they said back was they thought that kind of deadline would work to the disadvantage of the players. And, I don't put much credence in this. Let's face it, on both sides of these negotiations, there's really sophisticated people who negotiate for a living all the time. You tell them whatever the hell the rules are, it's all going to turn out the same, no matter what they're, it's the money's the money is the money.
Should you say I don't put much credence to that when you're talking about the players' union statement? I don't know, Rob.
Especially when you're about a year away from a potential lockout scenario.
I'm not opposed to, let's say, some kind of deadline of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know.
I think players have some leverage still the closer you get to spring training, because then teams are operating out of a place of a little more desperation.
Right. And I guess I'm just thinking of, there have been some much later additions Seattle's made. That have worked out. I think it's frustrating as a fan, and Rob Manfred's job is to keep eyes on the product. And when you have a quiet offseason, eyes turn to the NFL playoffs. Eyes turn to the NBA. Eyes turn to the competitive NHL season, whatever it is.
I think he got kind of blinded by, remember before the last lockout, which would have been the 2021 season, 2022? It was one of those years. And baseball had this deadline of, it was December 1st or whatever. And after that date, they were going to lock the players out. There was going to be no movement, nothing. And you saw a lot of contracts get done right up until that deadline. I know Robbie Ray signed, I think, maybe a day or two prior to that. I think maybe Manfred was like, oh, well. Interesting. Maybe
Interesting
if we
results here.
And I think
while he's putting,
but it's
he's just in the hallway
they were signing because they wanted to secure themselves financially prior to a new CBA written, which may have taken away a lot of the earning potential.
And finally, would baseball ever consider tweaking their schedule?
We talk about all of those kinds of, we talk about them as format changes. We've talked about split seasons. We've talked about in-season in tournaments. We do understand that 162 is a long pull. I think the difficulty, to accomplish those sort of in-season events, you almost inevitably start talking about fewer regular season games. And, that is it is a much more complicated thing in our sport than it is in other sports.
Because of the records.
All of our season-long records,
changes.
You're playing around with something that people care a lot about.
Yeah, you are, Curtis.
Yeah, baseball fans, they don't want their stats touched at all.
No.
Also, I just think it's unnecessary, the in-season tournament. It's just a way to bring in more sponsors. That's what the NBA is. That's all it serves, is to bring in more sponsorship money. There's no real reason to have it.
Two quick baseball notes here. NBC and Peacock have announced their MLB schedule for the season. The Mariners will be on the network's first Sunday night baseball broadcast of the year against the Guardians. That's going to be March 29th, quite literally the first of the year. They're going to play the Mariners total games on Sunday night baseball. It's going to be March 29th. May 17th against San Diego, July 5th against Toronto, and August 16th at Houston. Also, the Athletics' Ken Rosenthal reports the Diamondbacks are taking second baseman Ketel Marte off the trade block. Curtis, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Maybe this spurs some action on that second base market that has been ice cold.
Maybe. Time for the IRG injury report brought to you by IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Trent Williams, dealing with that hamstring injury, was a limited participant for the 49ers on Thursday, again, taking on the Eagles in wildcard weekend. And Rams wide receiver Devontae Adams was a full participant, so they get him back. Giant red zone threat. I have exciting Seahawks things, not news, but something that may interest Seahawks fans. That's coming up next.
The one and only Mark Schlereth with Wyman and Bob.
Could have been a bigger butt whipping, but the score didn't really tell you how one-sided it was.
With a depleted defense, you should be able to put up more points, but the two teams know each other exceptionally well. Robert Saleh is a damn good coordinator. I guess I just looked at how dominant overall the performance was, and hey, man, it's hard to win in the National Football League.
Get every can't-miss conversation on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Welcome to IRG Sports Injury Update. We're with Shannon O'Kelly, physical therapist and president of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. And our guest, Dr. Ron Gregish, board-certified orthopedic surgeon specializing in arthroscopic surgery and sports medicine with Pro Ortho in Kirkland.
Dr. Gregish, thanks again for joining us. Tell us that athlete that just has that chronic hip pain, maybe it's not going away with rest. What could be going on there?
Frequently, those athletes have a hip labral tear as well as something called femoroacetabular impingement or hip impingement. Oh, I could spend hours talking about this, but just in a nutshell, femoroacetabular impingement or FAI occurs when there's extra bone kind of in the front part of the hip, either on the femur side or the hip socket side, that'll rub when the hip goes into deep flexion when you bring the leg up. The reason we think it's so common in athletes is because of those positions that athletes need to get into. NFL linemen, hockey goalies, even basketball players get it. And once you develop the symptoms, it's really hard to get rid of it, oftentimes without surgery, especially as an athlete.
It's a mechanical problem. It's an impingement where you're talking about the ball and socket, but there's something going on mechanically in there, and that's impinging, whether it's a labrum or a bony impingement, and it has to be corrected. You do that correction through a scope now, right?
That's right. We can treat that arthroscopically. We shave down the bony impingement problem and repair the labrum to treat it typically.
What's the return to play for most of these athletes?
It's long. Return to play can usually take 9 months to a year, and also return to play, only about 75-80% of athletes ever get to the same level they played at before.
The nice thing about it, there's an option today in this scope procedure of these hips. If you want more information regarding hip pain, you can contact Dr. Gregish at proortho.com.
With over 40 neighborhood clinics around Washington, IRG has you covered. Let IRG be your family's physical therapist. Find the location nearest you at irgpt.com. That's irgpt.com.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation, so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
Seattle Sports is giving you two chances to win tickets to the Seahawks divisional round playoff game at Lumen Field. Tap the Win tab in the Seattle Sports app or visit the Seattle Sports YouTube page for your chance to win a pair of tickets to the game.
Holy catfish!
That's two separate chances to be part of Seahawks history. Details and rules at seattlesports.com/win from the home of the Seahawks.
Listen to the 12th man.
Seattle Sports.
Want more Seahawks content? Join me, G. Scott, on The Reset. New episodes of the podcast every Monday and Thursday on YouTube or on the Seattle Sports app.
Happy New Year, Susan. I really appreciate you picking up the bill for lunch.
I'm happy to. One of my New Year's resolutions is being better with money. So I've started using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for buying gas.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I earn cash back just for buying the gas I was already buying.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make $200 to $300 this year.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play and start earning cash back on everyday gas purchases. Use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents per gallon on your next fill up. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RIDER. Code RIDER. Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Breast cancer is a tough battle for anyone to fight. But when you can't work, care for your kids, or even put food on the table, that diagnosis can be devastating. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda, a plastic surgeon who is proud to support Northwest Hope and Healing. Our mission is to provide a lifeline for breast and gynecologic cancer patients. We cover essentials like food, utilities, and childcare, so patients can focus on healing. For more than 25 years, Northwest Hope and Healing has distributed over $3 million to thousands of local cancer patients, and you can help make a difference in our community. Join us on Saturday, January 31st for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of fine wine, gourmet cuisine, and inspiration at Mary Hill Winery in the heart of Woodinville wine country. Get your tickets now for Cork, Fork, and Support on January 31st. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Coming up in less than 15 minutes, NFL Network's Mike Yam is going to help us preview Wildcard Weekend, and we're going to ask him whether he thinks the Seahawks are being disrespected. Just spoiler, he does. You had a great answer to it earlier, but there's more there.
A lot of meat on that bone.
There's a lot of meat on that bone. I think you guys are really going to like what Mike Yam has to say about the Seahawks. Before we keep it moving, Curtis, you had... Oh, my God. No, wait. Sorry. I need to actually pay off on the tease that I said. I'm so sorry. You need to know something about Seattle Seahawks tickets. Your Seattle Seahawks are the #1 seed, and we've got 2 chances for you to win 2 tickets to the divisional round at Lumen Field. Why didn't I start with this? This is the biggest news of the day. A chance to win 2 tickets to see the Seahawks in the playoffs here at home next weekend. So here's how you do it. You open the Seattle Sports app and hit the Win tab, or you can head to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find out how to enter. If you don't have the app, you can download it from the App Store. It's free. Or you can text the word APP, A-P-P, to 866-979-3776, and then we'll send you a link to download it. These contests runs through Wednesday, January 14th. Come on, Stacy, you got it. Again, 2 tickets to the divisional round at Lumen Field. In the building.
Losing your voice, losing your mind.
To watch this team, knocking on wood, beat the Packers.
Seahawks fans haven't had a chance to be in the building for a playoff game since 2016. Because 2020, no one was in the building.
Oh, yeah. I was like, but wait, no.
It's been 8 years. People have been dying to watch playoff football here.
Yeah.
In town.
And we can send you there. And a friend.
Yeah.
2 tickets.
Sure.
So again, Seattle Sports app, click the Win tab, and then the text line is where you text the word app to download, 866-979-3776. Curtis, you want us all to hit the brakes on something.
I do. I was listening to Wyman and Bob yesterday. They had Ross Tucker on, who is commentator for CBS. He's on Westwood One Radio, does, I think, like Monday Night Football for them as well. We've had him on the show a few times as well. Great guest. One of the great voices in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
But he was asked about Clint Kubiak interviewing for other jobs, and we saw Adam Dirty get an interview with the Cleveland Browns. I think it was today was his interview for their head coaching job, and was asked, hey, is that a distraction? Is that something the Seahawks should concern themselves with? And Ross said, yeah.
It's definitely a distraction. I always think it's laughable when people say it isn't. I mean, you're interviewing for a job that is what you've been working towards your entire life and would provide life-altering financial security for your family. To say that that opportunity is not a distraction is comical to me, and I don't really know how they can fix it, but that's the issue, because you still have to prepare for the interview. Now, maybe you don't need to know their personnel in and out, but if you really want that job, you better impress them in that interview process. So I absolutely think it's a distraction. Now, the good news is for Kubiak or anybody for the Broncos is that they can prepare this week since they're not able to prepare for an opponent yet anyway.
I just don't think that it has as big of impact as Ross Tucker says it does, because...
So you're making him laugh. He said it's laughable if you think it doesn't have an impact. So you're making him laugh
at me,
right now.
Ross. Be a comedian here.
Real comedian's comedian.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're victims to recency bias when having takes like that because of what the Lions did after getting a first-round bye last year and then falling flat on their face against the Commanders, giving up, I think it was like 45 points to Washington, especially when the Lions had a really good defense last year. Aaron Glenn interviewing for the Jets job, Ben Johnson interviewing for the Bears job. Those two guys leave. But I think that is obviously a recent example of why it's a concern, but I'm looking through previous conference championship matchups pretty much over the last decade. Only 1 year has there not been a 1 seed to make the conference championship round. That would have been the 2021 season, so the 22 playoffs. Tennessee lost to Cincinnati, and then Green Bay lost to San Francisco.
And that Cincinnati team was great.
Yeah.
Tennessee basically was counting on Derrick Henry getting 150-plus a game.
And that Packers team notorious for choking.
Yeah.
In late season situations with Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback. So to say that I don't think it's as big of a concern as Ross Tucker's making it out to be. Now, it's kind of like there's a built-in excuse if the Seahawks come out flat or fall on their face in the divisional round. These guys were interviewing, they were distracted. But I think that's kind of a lazy take to have about a team when ultimately it's the players that have to execute. It's everybody having to execute. And I think Mike McDonald is a guy that, look, Aden Dirty being the defensive coordinator, that's fine and all. He's not the play caller. It's Mike McDonald who's calling the plays.
Yeah.
And I don't think Aden Dirty is going to ignore any of his job responsibilities prior to figuring out who the opponent is going to be. I don't think Clint Kubiak is going to ignore any of his job responsibilities calling the Seahawks plays on offense. So I just think that take is just kind of excuse-making or potential excuse-making for a less than stellar performance. Heck, the Seahawks won the Super Bowl in 2013 with Dan Quinn on his way to Atlanta. He took the job with the Falcons immediately after that Super Bowl was over. It's not something that has stopped this Seahawks team before.
Well, we only talk about it when it's a team that loses or disappoints, right? You don't talk about it when it's like, oh, everyone's courting assistants for the Eagles. Their assistants did leave after the fact, and you kind of did feel the impact of that. But it's just not. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think in general, talking about whether or not a buy-off can be a disadvantage. Now, this is only slightly related because your point was really about coordinators interviewing being a distraction. Whether or not a buy is ever a disadvantage is also something that makes me roll my eyes. Because it's like in any other part of the year, we talk about it as an advantage. And they're coming in after a bye week, like for Thursday Night Football, they're coming in after a bye.
Once it's the playoffs,
I don't know. You got that bye. Well, weren't you just fighting for the number 1 seed in the bye?
Yeah, why are we making a big deal about the race for the 1 seed if it doesn't matter?
Coming up next, NFL Network's Mike Yam.
Blue 88 every morning at 7:45. Brock Eward tackles 3 football questions as only he can.
So they got a bye week now, Brock. What do they do?
Obviously, you have the 4 opponents, Salk. You face 3 of them this year and 2 of them twice this year. You're going to get to do a lot of watching and a lot of resting. And most importantly, these guys are going to get healthy, Salk. And I would expect when they do practice the following week, when we get an injury report, that it's going to be very, very light.
Catch every Blue 88 on the Seattle Sports app.
Member Week is here for pros at Lowe's. Get up to 40% off hundreds of items from tools and paint to kitchen and bath and more. Just in time to stock up for this year's jobs. Plus, earn 5 times the points on an eligible purchase. Shop member deals in-store and online from January 8th through the 14th. Still not a member? Join for free today. Lowe's. We help, you save. Point boosters subject to exclusions and more terms apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change.
Logan Fury did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he bought a mini treadmill. Is walking on it during video conference calls more distracting than he thought? Yes. And is that because he overestimated his foot-eye coordination? Definitely. But it's Logan's savings, and if he wants to burn calories and any chance at a promotion, we say, good for you, Logan. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these 3 books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Hey, Mike Salk here, and I'm telling you, people all over the Northwest right now, they're going to be losing 20, 30, 40, maybe 50 pounds, and they'll do it by Valentine's Day. And they'll do it by starting Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. That'll be the resolution. You can as well. A 15-minute phone call is all it takes to get started, and just see if you're interested in this program. I was. It really did work for me. I did the program. I immediately lost 10 pounds just in the first week. I lost about 35 pounds after 8 weeks. Here's what I didn't have to do. Fight for space in a crowded gym with all the New Year's resolutioners. No pills, no injections, no bland boxed fake meals or anything like that. What I did get was delicious recipes, real food that you buy at the grocery store, and a group to offer support, accountability, and coaching. Do it for yourself this year. Go to EastsideWeightLossClinic.com and schedule that 15-minute phone call. Don't let it hold you back. Do it now. Go to EastsideWeightLossClinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
At O'Neill Plumbing, we don't just promise to get the job done, we back it up. No travel charge, no show-up fee, no overinflated pricing, and no out-of-town owners. Just clean, fast, and professional each and every day. O'Neill Plumbing.
At Cressy Door, we not only have the perfect garage door for your home, but we also offer options for creating space and even warming your outdoor areas. Check out your options at CressyDoor.com.
Emerald Queen Casino Event Center presents the main event. Powered by WFC, Friday night, February 6th. A night of professional boxing where champions are made and every punch counts. Contenders from the region go toe-to-toe, ready to prove they belong at the top. Tickets at EmeraldQueen.com. Don't miss Fight Night, February 6th at Emerald Queen Casino, the boxing capital of the Northwest. 21 and older, need gambling help? Call 800-547-6133 or visit EmeraldQueen.com.
Let's go!
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The weirdest college football story of late just had another twist. 4 days after signing a contract, Damon Williams entered the transfer portal, and now Williams is coming back to Washington. In a statement, head coach Jed Fish said, quote, "Over the last few days, Damon and I have engaged in very honest and heartfelt conversations. We'll work to begin the process of repairing relationships and regaining the trust of the Husky community." Elsewhere in college football, hey, there was a game last night. The Miami Hurricanes have gone from being left out of the playoff picture entirely for the penultimate rankings to being in the national championship game after a win over Ole Miss. Today, number 1 Indiana takes on number 5 Oregon in the Peach Bowl at 4:30.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross. Here we go now.
NFL Network's Mike Yam joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Mike, how's it going? Happy Friday.
I'm doing great. Do you just like really push hard and like tease Bump for calling out, or would you like me to do that at some point for you?
Why don't you? I think you should take the spotlight and just. This is your great time to maybe take a shot at his golf game. He can't respond right now, so maybe just give a shout out to Bump. And Bump, sure wish you were here to talk to Mike. He misses you.
I do miss him. I think it got to the point, though, Sis, if I'm being honest, he probably got tired of me seeing me every single week for 15 consecutive weeks. So to be honest with you, I would bail as well if I was him. So I totally get it.
It's so weird. We told him, oh my God, we're going to record with Mike Yam. And he said, I'm out sick today.
Yeah, he's like, I came down with something.
The timing of it was a little suspect.
It sounds about right. It sounds about right. But I appreciate the invite, guys. And I hope you guys are both doing well.
Oh, thank you. We're also really happy to have you because we got a lot of games to talk about. And also we're going to split this and talk about the Seahawks, who obviously aren't playing this weekend, but we got a lot of questions for you. I am going to start by asking you about one specific wild card game, and that is the Packers and Bears. Obviously, it's important for Seattle because if the Packers win, they're the team that Seattle hosts here in the divisional round, and this one's the closest of the weekend. Basically a toss-up. I think last time I looked, Green Bay was a 1.5-point favorite. Tell me what you think happens here.
Wow, I actually was just about to ask if you guys knew who the favorite was in this game, and I'm almost surprised. Yeah, there's a part of me that's, I will say this, regardless of what I think about the game, I'm actually surprised the Packers are the favorite. Now, last time these two teams met, there was, obviously the back and forth. There's familiarity between both of these teams, and it'll be grinded out. But I get so concerned about Green Bay's defense. You look at the last few weeks since Micah went down, just a huge part of what they do defensively, and the numbers reflected. Without him, they're giving up, almost 7, 8, 9 points per game more. And that's a problem against the Chicago team where I understand there's some questions, but there's the run game. If they're able to generate enough production in that backfield, I think there's a real problem for Green Bay to hold serve here. And I know Jordan Love hopefully coming back and being healthy off that concussion is one of those signs, but this Chicago defense will hit him. They will be going after him. They will test him. That this is the game where he actually got hurt. So there's a part of me that just sort of expects, because the familiarity inside this division, these two teams knowing each other so well, that this is a tight game. But I still like Chicago here in this one in a physical sort of output. I do think the run game for Chicago is really the difference maker.
Mike, when you look at this playoff field, every team comes with its own set of warts. Is there a team that maybe you've embraced with both arms and said, yes, I think they can win a Super Bowl? Because I got to be honest, you just look at this field, and I'm not feeling very confident really about anybody's chances. I mean, maybe here in Seattle, with the defense looking as good as it's looked, but
sure.
It just looks like this playoff field is crazy wide open.
It definitely has a wide open field or feel to it. You mentioned Seattle, and obviously I know I'm in this market, and I'm not just saying this because of who the audience is, but I do generally like teams when it's an open field like this who feel like they're complete. And I do look at Seattle as one of those teams. I think the one squad that not many are talking about, the reality is for a few weeks there, everyone in the national media continued to point the finger at the Houston Texans and say, hey, this is the team that I don't want to go and play. And I understand the premise behind it because of their defense. But the reality is I have some real questions about their offense. The team, to me, that I think is a dark horse that isn't getting enough attention, who would scare the bejesus out of me. And I know they're hosting a game, and it's going to be tough against Josh Allen. But if they beat Buffalo, I still look at the Jags as the team that I do not want to play. You look at the evolution of this team's offense, really since their bye in week number 8. They're scoring with Trevor Lawrence now at this point, well over 30 points per game during that span. Defensively, they don't get nearly enough credit for some of the things that they can do, especially as they turn over teams. I know we were talking about Chicago and their defense. I mean, what they've been able to accomplish on the defensive side with all these turnovers is also really impressive. But to me, the Jags are the one squad that I would point to and say, hey, they're riding an impressive winning streak. Offensively, Trevor seems to have figured it out. And I think if you look at how they've won offensively, since week number 8, there's been games where Parker Washington is kind of that explosive wide receiver, and there's a great connection that we've seen with him and Trevor Lawrence. And I've seen games where Travis Etienne has carried the squad. So to me, I look at a complete team in Jacksonville, and Seattle certainly comes to mind as the two teams that I think really can make a whole lot of noise over the next few weeks.
A conversation Curtis and I are interested in today is kind of who's facing pressure and what's at stake in the wild card round for a few of these teams. I wanted to stick with this game. What kind of pressure is on Sean McDermott to get this one done? I think that the conversation had been, oh my God, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, it's not going to happen for them. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens eliminated in the final week. This is it for the Bills. And I don't know how confident I am that they get past the Jags, even though Josh Allen is obviously just undeniably talented. Is he facing pressure? What's at stake here?
I do a show for NFL Media called Game Day Preview on Sunday mornings, and I work with Michael F. Florio, who is one of our main fantasy guys, and he's part of Bills Mafia. And if I feel like my answer is biased because I sit next to him every single week, and we talk on air and off air about the Bills and some of the concerns that he has. Yes, exactly. So there's a part of me that does feel like we've been asking this question, Stacy, now for a couple seasons about the Bills and this window and Josh Allen. And I know, people will talk about whether it's Drake May or Matthew Stafford being the MVP. The scariest quarterback right now in the NFL to me is still Josh Allen. And he does wear that cape. He does feel like a superhero. They do rely on him so much to execute. But you hit the nail on the head. When there's no Lamar Jackson, who, last year could have been the MVP, 2 years ago was the MVP, a defense that's really scary. There's a Kansas City Chiefs team with Mahomes that's not in the postseason. It does start to feel like, hey, this is your time. And we're now ushering in these new teams with fresh faces, with future stars and really current stars in the NFL, where you start to sort of pause here and go, hey, is this window legitimately closing for this team? The fact that they're even in the postseason, considering some of the deficiencies they have at times that has been on full display at the wide receiver spot, the fact that Keon Coleman has, basically been healthy scratches for multiple weeks so far this season and was a high draft pick. I mean, that's scary to me. And yet I think that this team in the offseason, and I know, a lot is still dependent, and this team could make a run in the playoffs and who knows, get to a Super Bowl and go and win it. And it's still maybe a moot point. But I think that this organization has to take a hard look in the mirror and say, hey, what are the things that we need to do to make sure that we are not wasting away Josh Allen? And I know that they're in the postseason, and I know they can make a run here, but, would you put them on the list of, maybe the top 4 or 5 teams that you would point to as winning a Super Bowl? For me, no, they're on the fringe, and they're only on the fringe because of Josh Allen. Dude needs some help, and I don't know if they get it done on the road against Jacksonville. Now, if they win that game, you guys can have me back on next week and bump can tease me for what I'm saying right now. But the reality is I get concerned about what Buffalo is, and really McDermott pointing to him to try to lead this team over the top and get past some of the issues that they've had in previous postseasons.
Mike, one team that has been a sexy pick amongst the analysts is the Rams in the NFC. A lot of people have them going to the Super Bowl, but what do you make of their kind of choppy end of the regular season? They blow that big lead against the Seahawks on the Thursday night game, then they drop that Monday night game to Atlanta. How do you view the Rams heading into this postseason?
For a good stretch of this season, I thought they were the best team in the NFL. We talk about those complete squads. Offensively, they're so darn scary. You guys got a front row seat for it against the Seahawks. I mean, Puka is Puka's the best wide receiver in the game. And I honestly, and I know there's other dudes that are out there. JSN certainly comes to mind, but I mean, if it's in the vicinity of Puka with those paws, it feels like he is good for 2 or 3 ridiculous grabs every single week. And they are 1 2-point conversion stop against the Seahawks from maybe having a different conversation around the squad. Now, they didn't execute on 2 of those, and there's a reason why. They're sitting there and having to go on the road here. The thing that makes me worry is the performance on Monday night against the Falcons, Curtis, that you alluded to there. There's a part of me that can story it in my mind and just say, hey, Devontae didn't play. That's a factor here, but you got to win that game. And, there's been some issues on the road, whether it's that Falcons game, whether it's a Carolina team that beat them, a couple weeks back, and now they get to go and host that game. And this is a redemption. Now, I will say this. I do think the Rams are a better football team than Carolina, despite the fact that they're going on the road, and this is a Panthers team that's already beaten them. But Stafford is a difference maker here. When we talk about legacy, if he does get the MVP, if he does go and get to a Super Bowl, to me, he's a Hall of Fame quarterback at this point. I think right now he's in that mix, in that conversation, and there's enough pieces around him, especially on the offensive side. Like, if you're going to make the case for Drake May, part of the Stafford conversation is he's got maybe the best offensive pieces of any team in the NFL. So he should perform at a really high level. But I think you hit the nail on the head. I'm a little concerned right now about the finish for the Rams. And if they score a road win against Carolina, I think that does sort of squash some of those conversations. And then you kind of put them back in the mix as one of the scary teams in the league.
Yeah, I agree on all fronts. I probably have a couple more wild card questions, but I wanted to jump ahead and look to Seattle, who we won't see until the divisional round. A lot of folks, speaking of the Rams, still picking LA as a Super Bowl favorite, and I completely get it. I understand, right? Both of these games that we saw between these two teams were not only neck and neck, but we saw Matthew Stafford and the Rams get over 500 yards of total offense against this defense. So we know how deadly the Rams can be. However, I wonder, Mike, if there's, I don't want to say disrespect, but maybe more questions about the Seahawks than they deserve at this point as a number 1 seed. I completely understand that when we get to the playoffs, we tend to trust in coordinators, coaches, and quarterbacks that have proven it. It's why the Bills as a 6th seed still have us looking at Josh Allen going, well, I don't know. I mean, God, it's Josh Allen. What are you going to do? And same with the Rams as a 5 seed. But what do you think about the Seahawks maybe not getting as much belief as they deserve, or do you think it's warranted?
No, it's complete BS, if I'm being honest with you. I mean, the national conversation all season long has been waiting for the other shoe to fall off with this team. Sam Darnold has not gotten nearly enough credit. And look, I think some of the criticism at times has been fair for Sam in his career if you haven't paid attention. Now, if you take a step back and you look holistically at some of his spots and where he was, I mean, look at just New York, for example. The Jets as an organization, it's abundantly clear where they are right now, and they've been this way for a really long period of time. A revolving door on that offensive line, different pieces at the wide receiver spot. He was not put in a position to succeed. Now, you can point to what happened at the end of his stay at Minnesota, and you look at those collapses late. Is that all on Sam? I don't know. I don't know if it's completely fair to point the finger at just one person. And I do think some of his performances, and this happens to every player in the NFL, sometimes guys don't get the benefit of the doubt, and Sam hasn't. And I do think what we've seen late this season from Sam Darnold should have squashed some of that conversation and eased some of those concerns. But Stacy, it is disrespect. I think if Seattle was in a different market, had maybe a different logo on the front of their jersey, they would not be discussed this way by the national media, and it's disappointing. This defense has been dominant. There was a time this season where I thought JSN was going to be the offensive player of the year. I mean, heck, he still is in that conversation and in that running, and I know I mentioned Puka being the best wide receiver in the NFL. JSN's not far behind in my mind. The building blocks that McDonald has put together here, he would be my coach of the year so far this season. So, and by the way, case in point, John Harbaugh is no longer the coach of the Ravens. Look at what has happened since McDonald's left Baltimore to that team's defense. And maybe not totally fair because of some of the injuries that they had this season, but I do think that Seattle should be getting way more respect. Like, if you said to me, who do you feel more confident in right now? Is it Denver as a 1 seed or Seattle as a 1 seed? To me, I'm going with the Seahawks. So I'm with you, and I can only imagine the frustration as fans in that city continue to, read coverage around the NFL or watch a lot of these shows and go, like, why aren't we talking more about Seattle? I would be disappointed from a fan's perspective, too.
Mike, last one from me. The middle portion of Sunday slate, San Francisco taking on the Eagles. That seems like a game a lot of people are very interested in because both those teams have gone pretty far in the playoffs over the last few years. But San Francisco really banged up heading into this one. And then Philadelphia, drama following them everywhere, as it always does. Who do you see coming out ahead in that matchup?
Wow, you want to talk about disrespect, huh? I mean, look at what Philly – it's like non-existent. Like, I do enough shows at NFL Network, and one day, and I know Steve White, occasionally will pop on with you guys on your show because we always kind of talk about Bump. To be honest with you, he always lets me know if he hops on the station with you guys because he knows that Bump and I are buds. But the two of us were talking the other week, and we were doing a show, and I turned to him and I said, "Can you imagine like?" And Philly, by the way, is a major market. They are on the East Coast, and they have gotten a lot of attention. They do have Saquon. They do have Jalen Hurts. And it's even in the weeks where they were winning at the start of the season, it was all these like negative vibes around this squad. I think they're going to put the league on notice against the San Francisco 49ers. I think this is a good opportunity for them to really flex. San Francisco, and you guys just saw it against Seattle the other week. I actually was impressed by what that defense did, considering how banged up they were, to keep their team in the game against the Seahawks. But I just think they are so undermanned on that side of the football. And this is a tough ask to go to Philadelphia to try to win this game. I would be concerned by some inconsistencies and on the Philly side of things, like big picture and a potential run here. I don't even think that this team has remotely come close to their ceiling and what they can do offensively. And to me, what that team's defense does over the next few weeks, assuming a win against the Niners and maybe they get back to the Super Bowl, to me, I'm gonna be like massively pointing my finger at that defense to lead this team, because there are complete halves of football games where Jalen Hurts in that passing offense, you just go, what am I watching right now? And I think that's the one glimmer of hope for anyone who plays Philly. And it's going to be the Niners, obviously, this week. But to me, I still look at the Eagles as a dangerous squad. And really, that defense is going to have to be the unit that carries them.
NFL Network's Mike Yam, kind enough to join us ahead of Wild Card Weekend. Mike, we appreciate it, man. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. I always appreciate the invite.
Bye. Let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news.
Powered by Bay Alarm Security Services.
With Bump and Stacy.
Headline number one, Miami headed to the national championship game after scoring a last-minute touchdown to beat Ole Miss in the Fiesta Bowl. What's the real headline?
Lane Kiffin really lost $500K and his starting quarterback in one night. God, you hate to see it.
Poor guy.
I feel bad for him.
Oh, man.
He can do some hot yoga and kind of sweat it out.
Yeah, I think he'll be just fine.
I think he'll be fine, too. This one, I actually thought that Ole Miss could climb back into this one. You had the Carson Beck go-ahead touchdown run. Just great story from Miami, from him, especially considering that the Hurricanes were left out of the penultimate rankings, and then obviously leapfrog Notre Dame, an incredibly controversial discussion that we had for days and days and days following that. And it wasn't that Miami didn't deserve it or that Notre Dame didn't deserve it. It was that, God, what do you do when you have two schools who should be in here? You felt that the College Football Playoff Committee ended up getting it right.
I think so. I think Miami was the right choice for one of the final at-large bids into the College Football Playoff. And clearly, they have shown that they can hang with these teams. Their defense has been suffocating all year long. Last night was their worst defensive performance of the year. Only allowed 27 points. Mm-hmm. It is a really, really good Miami team that I think they match up well with either Indiana or Oregon, depending on who gets that other bid into the national championship game. People are kind of like, is Miami back? Is Miami back? I don't think you can crown them yet.
Yeah.
Win a national championship, then you can say you're back.
Am I wrong? And feel free to disagree with me. I've always felt Miami has the coolest unis and coolest combos. Now, I am saying this about college football where there are a billion choices that you can make. And
they have an iconic logo.
Yeah, many people have differing opinions on what they like. I don't know what it is about Miami. I've always loved their color scheme and their unis. Just the
They've
vibe.
always been the cool team.
They're always cool. Something about them just cool. Definitely cooler than Indiana and Oregon.
They have two of the best 30 for 30s, the U Part 1 and the U Part 2. I mean, they've put out some of the most talented players in NFL history.
And
as
actors.
Well. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, yeah.
I don't know about say talented, but certainly financially successful.
But, I mean, it takes me back to being a kid because the last time they were in this spot was 2001. And that Miami team, obviously, in the conversation for one of the greatest of all time because that was like Willis McGahee, Clinton Portis in the same backfield. Their defense with like Ed Reed and Sean Taylor, like just stupid talent on that roster. This Miami team nowhere near as much, but Malachi Toney, really talented freshman receiver, went over 1,000 yards. I like the Canes. I think they've got a shot.
Yeah.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 2, the other semifinal tonight. Number 1, Indiana facing off against number 5, Oregon in the Peach Bowl. What's the real headline?
Could Huskies fans handle a championship game with Dan Lanning and Mario Cristobal?
Oof.
Maybe it'll be a championship with Kurt Cignetti.
Maybe.
And Mario Cristobal.
Cignetti has become one of the darlings of college football.
And now a potential candidate for an NFL job.
Yeah, we heard what Mike Tannenbaum yesterday kind of float the idea of the Raiders pairing Cignetti and Mendoza again in the pros using the number 1 pick and then hiring Cignetti. I don't know. I mean, Cignetti's got a really nice payday at Indiana coming his way. I know they've gotten some assurances from Mark Cuban that he was going to fund their NIL kind of in the same way that like Phil Knight does with Oregon. So I think he's just got a really good situation at Indiana right now. I don't think he wants to mess with that.
Yeah, I'm very curious to read our guest earlier today, Adam Rittenberg, his latest for ESPN, all about Cignetti and how he's done what he's done with Indiana. I haven't checked it out yet, but it's bookmarked. Excited to check that one out. And excited to watch this game later today at 4:30 or listen to it. Is it going to be on our airwaves?
Oh, yeah.
Or listen to it right here on Seattle Sports.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 3, the NFL's wild card slate starts tomorrow with the Rams and Panthers. What's the real headline?
Well, you could argue that battle's already ended.
Yeah.
Am I being disrespectful to Carolina? They're 10.5-point underdogs.
I think you're allowed to be.
I think so, too.
The Panthers are just happy to be here. They haven't been in the playoffs in over a decade. I think it was the last time they made it was when they went to the Super Bowl.
That was the last playoff trip?
Yeah. It's been a long time for the Panthers.
Wow. They had them and the Broncos. Isn't that weird that Super Bowl 50, right? That Super Bowl had that year's MVP on the losing team, Peyton Manning and one of the best defenses in the league. Broncos end up winning, and then neither team gets back to the Super Bowl for basically 10 years.
Yeah, and the Broncos just made it back to the playoffs last year.
Yeah, until then, both teams, right? Or did... I know Carolina didn't get to a Super Bowl.
Carolina
the Broncos
has not
had a
been back
playoff
since.
drought, and then the Panthers had the same
Both
playoff
of them,
drought.
yeah.
Wow.
You know what else is a
Wow.
weird sort of like fate? Seahawks and Broncos connected for the Russell Wilson trade 4 years ago. Both teams are the 1 seed this year.
And will
Weird route that both teams have taken to get
Who do you
there.
have coming out of the AFC and going to the Super Bowl? You said Jags?
Jags, yeah.
Really? I took Patriots, but I can't tell if I just... Because I think that the Seahawks can make it, and I can't tell if I just thought Patriots-Seahawks would be a cool rematch, as would Broncos and Seahawks. I ended up taking New England. I think I might be wrong, though. But I stuck with it.
I hope Jacksonville wins, and since they don't really have a fan base, that it's all Seahawks fans at the Super Bowl.
Wearing
It's like
my
a home game.
faux fur coat all day on the show because the studio is kind of cold has me feeling more confident, I think. Like something about wearing fur makes you think you're cool.
See, I've never worn a fur coat, and I'm going to pull a Michael Bumpus here. I don't think I can pull it off. I don't think I can pull it off.
The difference is you're saying that about a fur coat, and Bum said it about sunglasses.
Yeah, fur coat.
I just didn't think I could
probably
pull
not my
sunglasses off.
steez.
So you just, on bright days, you just squinted? Didn't think you could pull it off.
Right, and Bump lived in Southern California, one of the sunniest places on earth.
The Seattle Seahawks are the number 1 seed, speaking of, and we've got 2 chances for you to win 2 tickets. We've got 2 chances for you to win 2 tickets to the divisional round at Lumen Field. Open the Seattle Sports app and hit the win tab, or you can head to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find out how to enter. Don't have the app? No problem. Text the word app, APP, to 866-979-3776, and we'll send you a link to download. This contest runs through Wednesday, January 14th. Looking around the NFL next.
Are people ready, Brock?
Brock and Salk.
Playoff football back in Seattle? It's been a while.
Morning 6 to 10.
Since we've had the full deal, everybody full-throated, as loud as it gets.
Being in the building for the last home game to beat the Rams, and that place that night, Salt, took me back to the Green Bay NFC title game. It had that kind of juice in the building. Yeah, I think the folks will be ready.
Only on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Save $10 on a pair of Rain X Latitude wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Our professional parts people will even install them for free.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. We've all been there, sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
At O'Neill Plumbing, we don't just promise to get the job done, we back it up. No travel charge, no show-up fee, no overinflated pricing, and no out-of-town owners. Just clean, fast, and professional each and every day. O'Neill Plumbing.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
It's game time, and Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton are lining up with a roster that's built to dominate the field. The gas-powered RAV4, built to power through every drive, rain or shine. Or switch up the play with the hybrid RAV4, versatile, efficient, and always moving the chains. The Tacoma, tough, dependable, and clutch when it counts. And now, taking the field, the all-new 2026 Toyota Tundra, redesigned, powerful, and built for the big moments. Whether you're in the north or the south, Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton have your winning ride. Visit ToyotaofKirkland.com and ToyotaofRenton.com.
O'Brien.
This is the home of the Seahawks.
Going to let one fly deep. Got a man out there. Ball is caught down at the 10-yard line, and it's JSN.
Seattle Sports.
Want to make 2026 your year of adventure? Book that trip and learn a new language with Babbel. Go ahead, make a resolution you can stick to. Now is the time. Babbel's New Year sale is here. Unlock all of the languages on Babbel with the lifetime subscription for 65% off. Just go to Babbel.com and start today. Babbel teaches you relevant words and phrases, so you can start speaking with confidence in as little as 3 weeks. And because Babbel's bite-sized lessons fit easily into your daily routine and are easy to remember, you'll be talking like a local in time for takeoff. Dive into the world of language learning content with Babbel's videos, podcasts, and stories from around the world, full of culture bites and language learning tips. Turn your daydream into a destination this year with Babbel. But don't wait. This offer ends January 15th. Get Babbel's lifetime access for less at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation, so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Taking a look around the NFL, and we are going to start with some shuffling. Baltimore Ravens obviously moving on from Harbaugh. A lot of changes with that organization. Former Ravens offensive coordinator Todd Monken was a guest on the Ryan Ripken show in Baltimore. He was very candid about his relationship with Lamar Jackson.
You know what? I didn't coach Lamar well enough. I didn't have as good a relationship as I could have. I didn't do the things that we needed this year to win enough games to give ourselves a chance. And I believe that. I'm not just saying that because I'm on your show, and I'm going to fight like hell to fix it. I'm going to fight like hell for the next job I get, and I'm going to root like hell for the Ravens.
So maybe I didn't do a good enough job with him. Maybe that's on me for not making him the best he could possibly be.
I'm impressed by Monken being able to say that about himself. I mean, you don't really hear that out of coaches when things go sour.
I think out of most people, all of us, me, everyone, I tend to be prideful, and you kind of have to bite your tongue.
I mean, maybe he's, in answering a question like that, maybe he's kind of interviewing for another job by saying, yeah, it was on me and I needed to do better.
I don't know. I kind of think he's automatically hired by Harbaugh wherever Harbaugh goes.
I think so, too.
Congrats, Giants. That's your new offensive coordinator.
Did you see, by the way, this is not in NFL headlines, but did you see sideline of last night's game, Jackson Dart?
That's why I say that.
Somebody was asking him, who do you think is going to be the Giants head coach? And you can see him mouth, I don't know, it's either Harbaugh or Stefanski. And it's like, oh, okay.
I think it'll be Stefanski. I think Harbaugh's going to Miami.
Interesting. I heard a rumor, and maybe we'll get to this later on, because the Dolphins hired a Packers VP as their new GM.
Well, now you're getting to my next story.
Yeah, that maybe.
Well, let's just say it.
Okay.
The Dolphins have made a GM hire. Former Packers VP of Personnel, John Eric Sullivan.
So the rumor was, and I think it was Greg Rosenthal of NFL Network who has been kind of stoking the flames on this, is that Matt LaFleur has kind of been, his contract status is weird. Like, why hasn't he received an extension? He's won a lot in Green Bay. We don't know if he's going to be back. Like, even though he's won a ton, hasn't gotten to the Super Bowl yet, but has won a huge number of games there.
Yeah.
The thought is that LaFleur goes to Miami with this John Eric Sullivan guy.
Wait, question. Sorry to interrupt. Would this mean LaFleur not being fired but saying, I would like to leave?
Something like that. And then Green Bay then hiring John Harbaugh. I don't know. It seems kind of out there. But Packers have a really good history of developing these kinds of GM types. Obviously, John Schneider here in Seattle, Ted Thompson. I mean, they just have a number of guys in the league. Brian Gutekunst, who's already running things in Green Bay. But yeah, that was sort of a rumor that I saw, and I was like, okay, hadn't really considered that one yet.
Isn't there some kind of link between Stephen Ross and John Harbaugh?
Well, Stephen Ross is a big Michigan donor, and Jim Harbaugh was the head coach at Michigan. So I think there's that connection as well.
Maybe I'm thinking of another Harbaugh.
There's a lot of them. There's Jay Harbaugh. There's...
This from earlier today, the NCAA has denied a 6th year of eligibility to Ole Miss quarterback Trinidad Chambliss. So he's now weighing whether to challenge the NCAA's ruling or, this is why it's in NFL headlines, enter the draft.
I think Chambliss used the transfer portal about as well as anybody has ever used it because he was a D2 quarterback at Ferris State for years and years and years, and then found a home in Ole Miss, started the year as their backup, then got elevated to their starting quarterback, and then had a phenomenal season, nearly got Ole Miss to the national championship game. And then you saw his performance in the Sugar Bowl, and all of a sudden these draft guys like Dane Brugler of the world, Todd McShay, all these guys are like, Chambliss is an intriguing name to watch in this year's class. I hadn't really considered him before this year. It's like, well, yeah, because he was a D2 guy. So yeah. I think if Chambliss wants to go pro, he's going to have a lot more eyes on him now than he did prior to this season.
Well,
fun quarterback.
Your final appearance was 2 darts to get your team into a scoring opportunity with 5 seconds left in the game. And the only reason you didn't get it is like a very contested reception attempt. A lot of people felt like a flag should have been thrown. Yeah. Other people felt like it was contact both ways. And I don't know.
Not saying he's number 1 overall, but that's kind of a very Cam Ward-like path to the pros.
I like that. Speaking of the college game, is tonight's Peach Bowl quarterback matchup a preview of the top of the 2026 NFL draft? Albert Breer says we may need to slow down that hype.
Until I make all the phone calls I need to make ahead of the draft, and we're talking on April 15th. I don't know that I'd say I feel fully comfortable, because I don't think either of these guys are like generational. Like the early indications I've gotten is like if you plug these guys into the 24 class, I don't know that either of them would be higher than the 4th quarterback taken.
Really?
That doesn't mean they can't go first overall, as we know.
Sure.
But I don't know that I don't think these kids, these two, rise to the level of Trevor Lawrence, Andrew Luck. Absolutely, no question about it. Going first overall.
I feel like I'm saying this knowing that Caleb Williams led off a stellar quarterback class. But I feel like the last couple have just had lots of question marks where you're so used to knowing as a college football fan and as an NFL fan, okay, who's this quarterback we're hyped about? Like, who's this, next rock star? And it's always weird when you've got a class that doesn't have that clear answer.
Right. And last year, I think, beyond Cam Ward, there was no clear number 2 until I think the combine when Jackson Dart kind of opened some eyes and was like, okay, this guy can really sling it. But beyond Dart last year, there was just nobody else. I think was Dylan Gabriel the 3rd quarterback taken, not till the 3rd round.
No way. Was he?
There were not a lot of quarterbacks taken early on in the draft.
3rd quarterback, not until the 3rd round.
Oh no, wait, Tyler Shuck. He was the 3rd quarterback.
Okay.
Early 2nd round, pick number 40. But
was Jalen before 4th?
Jalen Milroe was in the 3rd round, pick number 92. He was 2 picks ahead of Dylan Gabriel.
Okay.
So Tyler Shuck and Jalen Milroe.
What a weird class.
Yes, a very weird quarterback class. And Milroe barely saw the field this year. It's a good thing that the Seahawks have not been desperate for a quarterback in the post-Russell Wilson years because you got good play out of Geno and you've been getting passable play out of Sam Darnold. Because these last 2 quarterback classes, if you're not at the very, very top, it's slim pickings.
DK Metcalf makes his return after a 2-week suspension. This is the Monday night game, right? Steelers-Houston. Mike Tomlin's glad to have his number 1 receiver back and says DK feels bad for putting the team in that spot.
Man, he's sick about it. I'm tired of hearing him apologize about it. It's behind us now. It's time for us to move on and get singularly focused on what lies ahead. Certainly, there's a growth opportunity there as a man, but all indications are that it has happened, and he's open and non-resistant to that. And so my focus is is the football that's ahead of us.
Just in time for the playoffs and Monday Night Football. This is going to be the Steelers hosting Houston, 5:15 p.m. on Monday. Houston 3-point favorites. On the road, though, so a little bit more than 3 points.
I think I'm picking Houston in that one.
Yeah.
I think that defense is really good, and this Steelers team kind of feels like it's been on life support here for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. Coming up at 1, speaking of the wild card round, who's got the most at stake in the wild card games? Before we get to that, though, back to college football. Definitely got weird between Washington and Damon Williams. What's next for this pair?
The one and only Mark Schlereth with Wyman and Bob.
Could have been a bigger butt whipping, but the score didn't really tell you how one-sided it was.
With a depleted defense, you should be able to put up more points, but the two teams know each other exceptionally well. Robert Saleh is a damn good coordinator. I guess I just looked at how dominant overall the performance was, and hey, man, it's hard to win in the National Football League.
Get every can't-miss conversation on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision. If you're at the stage where you need readers, whether you've had LASIK or not, it may be time to consider K2 Vision RLE. I tell my King LASIK patients, laser vision correction won't solve the eventual need for reading glasses due to an aging, dysfunctional lens.
But K2 Vision RLE will. It's not a question of if your lens becomes dysfunctional, it's when. At that point, you'll need reading glasses and could benefit from refractive lens exchange, a permanent solution to distance, intermediate, and near vision problems. In other words, no glasses, no contacts, and no readers.
And no cataracts.
Exactly. After K2 Vision RLE, you will never develop a cataract.
K2 Vision RLE is quick and painless.
And because we've performed over 100,000 procedures and followed the outcomes, we have the experience to know if RLE is right for you.
Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at k2visionrle.com, and let's get your vision feeling young again, permanently.
Go to k2visionrle.com.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8157. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8157. That's 800-575-8157. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Seattle Sports is giving you two chances to win tickets to the Seahawks divisional round playoff game at Lumen Field. Tap the Win tab in the Seattle Sports app or visit the Seattle Sports YouTube page for your chance to win a pair of tickets to the game.
Holy catfish!
That's 2 separate chances to be part of Seahawks history. Details and rules at seattlesports.com/win. From the home of the Seahawks.
Listen to the 12th man.
Seattle Sports.
Compassion, communication, results. That's Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com. That's pendergastlaw.com.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
I'm going to say what we're all thinking. The ZipRecruiter song, it's a bop.
Yeah.
I'm still doing like a weird robot. I don't know what's happening to my body. It's just moving, and I can't control it. ZipRecruiter.
Try it free.
Try it free. I don't know why. Every time I hear it. Well, this got weird, not what I said, but for Washington and Damon Williams breaks a legal contract, presumably is contacted by attorneys from the Big Ten in Washington, decides to come back to Washington. Statements are then released by Pat Chun and Jed Fish. Jed Fish has said over the last few days, Damon and I engaged in very honest and heartfelt conversations about his present and future. We both agree the University of Washington is the best place for him to continue his academic, athletic, and social development. I appreciate Damon's statement. I support him. We will work together to begin the process of repairing relationships and regaining the trust of the Husky community. Now, to start the show, Curtis, you and I talked about just how wild the news was. And now I thought we'd take it a step forward and talk about, how do you do that? How do you repair that relationship? Was this the right decision for Washington and Damon to have a reunion after a very awkward week?
Yeah.
What now?
I wonder which relationship is most damaged or is most hurt by all that went on this week. Is it Damon Williams with his teammates? Is it Damon Williams with his coaching staff? Or is it Damon Williams with the fans? I think it's Damon Williams with the fans. And then I think it's Damon Williams with the coaching staff. And I think lastly, it's Damon Williams with his locker room. Because honestly, I think a lot of these players are like, if I was in the same boat and got offered $2 million more, probably would enter the portal too.
Yeah.
I get it. And a lot of these guys, their earning potential probably is going to go down significantly once their college football career is over. Like Damon Williams, undersized, I don't know if he's going to have this opportunity to earn this kind of money at the pro level. I mean, maybe he turns into like a Kyler Murray kind of quarterback, who knows, but this might be the best shot for him to earn that money. But I think Damon Williams with the fan base, that's going to be the toughest one to repair, because I think a lot of people got their feelings hurt based off of just reading social media and reading our text line and looking at YouTube comments on videos that were posted on Seattle Sports YouTube page. Like, there's a lot of people that are just like, how dare you? I think a lot of us hate seeing somebody not choose our team or not choose our alma mater. I think that's a big part of college football fandom, is like, I chose to go to this school, and seeing another kid choose to go to that school, that makes me want to root for him as well. And then seeing somebody turn around and say, no, I don't want to be at this school anymore, I want to go somewhere else. It's like, why would you not want to be here? That was the best 4 years of my life. Like
Sure.
that place made me. And I mean, it's just a different experience now in 2026 than it is any year prior to this. But, it sounds like relationships are getting repaired with Williams and the coaching staff. Obviously, Jed Fish putting that statement out. Pat Chun not on the coaching staff, but obviously in charge of that athletic department, saying how important it was for this contract to be honored, and saying we'll continue to support DeMond as he continues here at Washington. But the fan base, I don't know how they're going to embrace him, if they do embrace him at all.
You know what cures everything?
Winning.
Being
your rival.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think that fans are going to be the most bothered by it. I think your reasoning on it is exactly right. The coaching staff is going to be like, hey, you very nearly put us in a horrible situation here that could have cost people jobs if this team ended up being, horrible and really struggling.
Mm-hmm.
And then you put our recruiters are now, stressed for trying to get all these visits and schedule people to come visit. Bo Pribula, right? Last second you have to go hey, could we talk to you? And I likewise agree with you that teammates might feel betrayed, but when you spend day in and day out training with guys or being around guys, you're all the same age. Your reasoning is exactly right, I think if he wins, I would expect boos, even though it'll be 8 months from now. I would expect boos when he takes to the field for the opening week. And I think that if they start to win, and if they look like the team that Jed Fish is really hoping they will, and it's the reason that they initially made him sign that contract that he backed out on. But if they look like that team and if he looks like that quarterback, it's not like all is forgiven, but winning fixes a lot for a lot of people.
Yes.
It really does. And all of us pretend that's not the case, but it is. It absolutely is. And it's not a moral failing. This is and you're not accepting someone on your field who helps your team win who committed a criminal act.
No.
Right? Where you feel gross about that. This is someone who did something that feels immature and unwise, and there's an element of betrayal to it, but I really do think winning cures all. And if that's what happens for Washington, I think this becomes a weird chapter in what college football has become and why it's in desperate need of real leadership.
Yes.
If it ends up being a mess of a season, then this awkwardness lingers for months and months and months.
Yeah, and will that leadership that college football so desperately needs, will it ever show itself? I don't know if it will, just because the NCAA kind of really wants to put it in people's hands and say, you wanted this. This is what you ultimately wanted. All the stuff, the transfer portal, kids should not have to sit out if they want to transfer, because students don't have to sit out if they want to transfer schools. These are students at the end of the day. Kids should, make money off their own image and whatnot. And the NCAA is okay, you can have all of that. You can have all of that, no strings attached. This is what you wanted. And then I think they kind of had an understanding of this is what college football could devolve into.
Yep.
And now we're all starting to see maybe there should be a lot more regulations, a lot more limitations, I think, as to what can happen at the college level, because it is so hard to keep up with college football outside of the season. National Signing Day used to matter a lot in college football. It doesn't anymore. Because the portal has a bigger impact on what schools are doing. And what a team's roster looks like at the end of the season, at the end of a bowl game, it's nowhere close to what it's going to look like week one.
Yeah.
Remember how a couple of years ago when Deion Sanders came to Colorado and there was 50 new guys his first year, and people were like, oh my gosh, how can a team win with that kind of turnover? 50, that's every school now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just Colorado and a new coaching staff. It is every school that has that kind of turnover year after year.
I think the weird thing is there's always been someone said there's no morality left in college football. I think there used to be more romance, history still there in college football, right? We respected rivalries, all the Power 5 conferences were still standing. It was different. but there's always been immorality and there's always been shadiness. And I have worked with many a former college football player who was offered like under the table money to sign with certain schools. Lots of money. Like there is a seediness with college football that's existed for a very, very long time. But now they just said, well, let's put that on the table. Let's make it more obvious. And the NCAA didn't follow up with going, and we're going to regulate it in this way, and we're going to make contracts, and we're going to do this. They just said, like, let's make it messier.
Yeah. Right.
And now this is where we are. So I don't know. I know not everyone agrees with me that, like, I see, like, this person says, Stacy, you're wrong, girl. In this situation, I'll sacrifice winning for someone who doesn't want to be here. I mean, first of all,
that's your sacrifice.
That's your sacrifice. Yesterday, I said, I don't expect Amon Williams to come back. I don't think it'll happen. I think it would be really awkward, too. Like, you don't want to do that. I would sue the school that got him away for tampering. That would have been my approach. That's not the approach Washington has. He's back now, so what now? Like, my approach as a Husky fan, as an alum, is to go, well, all right, he's back. They did what they did. He did what he did, so now all you can do is hope that he wins because he does give Washington its best chance to do that, and I would like to see my school win. So that's where I'm at right now. That's how I feel about it. I know someone likened it to like if your girlfriend cheated on you and then the following week was like, I want to be back together. But I'm like, okay, what if your girlfriend was a supermodel millionaire? You know what I mean? Like, what if there was a little at stake for you? I think you think twice. I think maybe you consider it. Never allow yourself to be disrespected.
No.
Coming up next, who's got the most at stake in the wild card round?
Blue 88 every morning at 7:45. Brock Ewart tackles 3 football questions as only he can.
So they got a bye week now, Brock. What do they do?
Obviously, you have the 4 opponents, Salk. You faced 3 of them this year and 2 of them twice this year. You're going to get to do a lot of watching and a lot of resting. And most importantly, these guys are going to get healthy, Salk. And I would expect when they do practice the following week, when we get an injury report, that it's going to be very, very light.
Catch every Blue 88 on the Seattle Sports app.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health. It's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Hey everyone, Bum here for Seattle U men's basketball. Next up for the Redhawks, Gonzaga. This is going to be big. Grab your tickets for Seattle U versus Gonzaga January 17th at Climate Pledge Arena. Go to seattleu.com/tickets. Redhawks rising.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor. You visit urgent care over and over again. And it's always the same thing, right? Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and some nasal sprays. But they just keep coming back. You may suffer with chronic sinus infections. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure called the Sinusoft procedure. Available only at the Modern Nose Clinic. Imagine a procedure so delicate there are no narcotics. Less cutting means less bleeding, so no packing. And no operating room. The Sinusoft procedure is designed for the clinic. If you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, and congestion, find out if the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic, is the solution for you. Call and set an appointment today. 206-388-2770. 206-388-2770. That's 206-388-2770.
I remember brushing my hair and looking down and thinking, oh my gosh, do I have any hair left?
I used to look at women with thick, beautiful hair and think, why doesn't my hair look like that?
My thinning hair is making me feel so old.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic.
With clinically proven ingredients like apple extract, biotin, and millet, Hair Volume nourishes your hair follicles to promote thicker, healthier-looking hair. Say goodbye to shedding, thin, and dull hair, and hello to thick, healthy hair with Hair Volume.
Since taking Hair Volume, the shedding has all but stopped.
Now, instead of being jealous of other women's hair, I have friends who are jealous of mine.
My hairdresser couldn't believe the difference in my hair. Now she's using Hair Volume too.
Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com, or find Hair Volume in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Take the next step to becoming a Seahawks season ticket holder. Join the season ticket holder notification list to secure your spot in line. By signing up, you'll be the first to know when space becomes available on the official Blue Pride waitlist. Plus, receive team news, special ticket offers, and more. Visit Seahawks.com/season tickets to sign up today.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot, all to squeeze in getting tax help during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you, while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Only available with TurboTax experts. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Another twist to a very weird story in college football. 4 days after signing a contract, Damon Williams entered the transfer portal, and now, as of last night, he's coming back to Washington. In a statement, head coach Jed Fish said, "Over the last few days, Damon and I have engaged in very honest and heartfelt conversations. We will work together to begin the process of repairing relationships and regaining the trust of the Husky community."
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. This is going to be a giant wild card preview for 4 Down territory. We're just kind of making our picks between a couple games. We'll throw in some new AFC ones for this time around. But before we get to that, we're talking about who's got the most at stake in the wild card round of the playoffs. You guys can join this conversation on the text line 866-979-3776. I absolutely agree with the 5-2-0. Most at stake, they went with Buffalo. I think that Sean McDermott, more than anyone else, more even than Josh Allen, has the most at stake this year. That's in part because the issue with the Bills is not that Josh Allen is having a bad year. The issue with the Bills is that they should have done more at wide receiver entering the season. That's a Brandon Beane issue, not a Sean McDermott issue. But that the defense is also not great, very porous, particularly against the run, and has not allowed them to play really complementary football. If ever there was a year, and Bump has said this, for Josh Allen to get to and win a Super Bowl, the first Super Bowl win for the Bills, it would be in a year where Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes were not even in the AFC postseason. Yeah. That's this year. And yet, are you actually going to get it done? Sean McDermott's Bills are 0-5 on the road in the playoffs.
Man, moving on from Sean McDermott, though, he's got almost twice as many wins as losses. He's 98-50 in his career. with Buffalo, a 662 win percentage. Only has one losing season since 2017. That's when he took over for Buffalo. I feel like the Bills really can't do any better than that, but they will be forced to maybe evaluate that spot because, I mean, if you can't win a Super Bowl or at least get to a Super Bowl without Patrick Mahomes in the field, like, when's it going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
When is it going to happen? Because you have all the advantage right now of the teams that have elite quarterbacks. Like, you have the best quarterback available in the entire postseason, AFC or NFC. That is the biggest advantage anybody should have. And if it doesn't end up with a Super Bowl run, then, yeah, I think the Bills may be forced to do that. I mean, he's had,
I don't know that they move on from him.
Straight?
I think it's more like a, right? I think it's
Seven
more like a
straight
seat gets
double-digit
very, very
wins.
hot.
Yeah.
Because I think for him, he's probably thinking, well, I don't know what my team could have been. Well, again, there are overarching issues here that are coaching concerns, but like, he's probably thinking, I would have loved an extra wide receiver. I would have loved for you to maybe give me a little help defensively too, right? Like, I would have loved some personnel decisions that are a little bit different. Brandon Beane has complained before about, he said this about Jamar Chase, where it's a quote from forever ago, and I'm so sorry that I forget where it's from, but he talked about, I wish I had a top 5 pick to go get a franchise wide receiver. That'd be pretty cool. However, yeah, you're in a position where the Seahawks have found themselves, where the Chiefs have found themselves, where a number of successful teams that maybe haven't gone on to win a Super Bowl consistently, which I shouldn't include the Chiefs then. But like, that's exactly where Seattle's been. The only way you had a top 5 pick, you traded a franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
That's how you got that 5th pick.
Right.
And that team then sucked.
Yeah, I was going to say, it wasn't so much getting the 5th overall pick. You knew what the pick was going to be when you traded Russell Wilson for it. You just got lucky in that the team absolutely tanked the following season.
But I think that might be the answer. Like, again, not firing, but like, I think Sean McDermott and the Bills are under the most pressure.
They definitely, like, have the biggest boom or bust potential of any team in the playoffs. I kind of looked, though, elsewhere in the AFC. Mike Tomlin's coaching for his job every single week.
You think if the Steelers lose to the second best scoring defense in football, Mike Tomlin's out of a job?
Yes. I think he is out of a job unless they win the Super Bowl. I don't think yes way.
No way.
Absolutely.
Then he's out of a job. They're not going to win a Super Bowl.
Then yeah, he's out of a job. I think the Steelers are at a weird part of their franchise's existence because Aaron Rodgers probably not back next year. You're going to need a restart at quarterback. Do you draft a quarterback? Probably not. Do you continue to just bring in veteran after veteran? And honestly, I don't think Mike Tomlin wants to stick around and just continue to play veteran quarterback roulette every single year. I think he probably feels like, yeah, maybe my time is up. Maybe I need a fresh start somewhere else. But, yeah, I think Mike Tomlin, if he does not win, he's out of a job.
I don't know.
And it's a home game, too.
I think
if he loses a home playoff game, they haven't won a playoff game, since 2016?
Yes. We've been talking. So, yeah, you're going on 10 years. We've been talking endlessly all season long, playing the cuts and timeline and NFL headlines of Mike Tomlin being asked about his job security. And maybe a little bit last year, too. So I know it's been a talking point. I don't know that he or McDermott are out. I think that you're just looking at two teams with the Bills' window is by no means closing, but it's just very complicated because there are just people they can't get past. The Steelers' window,
I don't think it's opened in years.
No,
I think I think making the playoffs is good enough for them right now.
I need a Pittsburgh Steelers fan in here to ask them, you know, at the end of Carroll's tenure, Carroll was always considered a great coach and very likable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I always really liked him in press conferences. Like, he's just a good dude. But one of the conversations that was being had about Pete Carroll, in addition to, you know, do you just kind of lose the ear of the locker room with time? You know, are you too loyal to coordinators over time? Are his schemes, are his ideas, is his brand of football evolving the way this team needs it to? That's a question I'd love an answer to when it comes to Tomlin. Because is it that the way he wants to play is not evolving? You can't say they don't spend on defense.
Right.
They do. They have, I think, the most expensive defense.
They brought in Jalen Ramsey. They brought in DK Metcalf. They brought in Aaron Rodgers this season. What's funny is that their other big move was trading away George Pickens, and he ended up having his best year ever.
Right.
I
don't know.
You look at his win. He said since 2017, only 1 year has he surpassed 10 wins. And that was a 12-win season in 2020 that I think they started like 11-0 that year and then lost 4 of their last 5 and then got bounced in the first round of the playoffs against Cleveland. So it's been forever since the Steelers have really been the Steelers and that, dominant team that was always one that you had to keep in mind when Tomlin was first starting out, when it was him and Ben Roethlisberger and Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell and all those guys. Like 5 straight years of just getting past a winning record,
but also,
that's not an accomplishment.
But also dealing with players in their prime suddenly deciding to hold out, to leave the organization, to demand trades, to be a problem. Like, what if Bell and Antonio Brown? No, I'm not talking about like the like the ability to keep these personalities in-house. And like secrets in-house. I'm talking about like
and Ben Roethlisberger
I'm talking about what if these were players who were better teammates and willing to make sacrifices, and Mike Tomlin's Steelers actually got to hang on to good players instead of not having them. Now, you should have made the most of, like, some of AB's best seasons are, like, unbelievable. You should have made the most of those, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I think a lot of people are with you. I think that a lot of people are watching the Steelers, and I guarantee you that but when the Steelers lose in the playoffs, you and I both think it's going to happen this Monday night, the immediate conversation, either Scott Van Pelt's going to be having it or other people are going to be having it, is what happens with Mike Tomlin. I don't think you're wrong.
7 of his last 8 seasons have ended with either 7 or 8 losses.
I just don't think he gets fired. I don't think he or McDermott get
I think
fired.
it's like a John Harbaugh situation. I really do. I think if the Ravens had beaten the Steelers in Week 18, Mike Tomlin's already out of a job.
No way.
Yes way. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
So we have Tomlin, McDermott. Looking at 2 AFC teams. What about in the NFC? Panthers fell backwards in there. It doesn't matter what happens to them.
I'm going to say Matt LaFleur and the Packers.
You're a Super Bowl favorite.
Right. Now, 2 huge injuries to that team have really thrown off what I think could have been a special season for the Packers, losing Tucker Kraft, who at the time was their leading receiver, and then Micah Parsons, their biggest offseason acquisition, the biggest offseason acquisition in the entire NFL. But again, LaFleur has this reputation of really good regular season coach, but in the playoffs, it has always fallen short. You've got an opportunity to beat a Bears team. You are the favorite heading into this game, according to Las Vegas, 1.5-point favorite. And the Packers need to start winning, I think, in January and February in order for LaFleur to have the seal of approval from that front office.
I like that one. I was struggling to think of like, okay, well, if the 49ers don't get it done, instead of having a conversation about how Kyle Shanahan can't win at all, no matter the great teams he makes, you're having a conversation about Kyle Shanahan as coach of the year because I can't believe that he's here with a team that's then been that banged up. So they're kind of playing with borrowed time here. With the Seahawks, you're the number 1 seed, and even though expectations are sky high, and if they lose, it'll be incredibly disappointing, absolutely no one is thinking of moving on from any of these pieces. I don't even know if Sam Darnold is your answer there. Like, if Sam Darnold goes out and throws 4 interceptions, God forbid, in the divisional round, we're all having conversations about, does John Schneider look for some help there? But, like, this is a team on the up and up.
When does the temperature turn up on Kyle Shanahan?
With a healthier team. I think it would be there. I think if Kyle Shanahan had a healthy team, even if he had Nick Bosa out there, I think you could have lost one of Bosa or Warner, but if you had one of them out there, I think it would be fair to go, hey, Kyle, only one listener that watches Summer House understands that. Then you could have the conversation because you'd be talking about, man, this guy keeps getting to championship games, getting to Super Bowls, and he can't get it done. Because the conversation with Shanahan and his offense in general was, oh, if he falls behind, he can't win. He loses these, if he falls behind in the fourth quarter, he loses these leads, and when he's playing from behind, he can't get it done. Fair or not, that's just what it became. But I don't think that happens at all this year. They've had too many injuries.
Yeah, and I mean, last year the 6-11 record was due in large part to the injuries as well.
Yeah.
But
I don't know, man. I don't think it happens.
I don't think it happens this year. I agree with you on that. I think if they fall short this year and next year's kind of more of the same, then I think things get a little more interesting.
A question. Do you think that most of the teams, coaches, players that we've talked about are from the AFC side specifically because Mahomes and the Chiefs are out of the playoffs?
Yeah, I think there's way more pressure on those AFC teams because when are you ever going to have this opportunity again?
Think about it. The domino effect of Mahomes and the Chiefs being out of the playoffs are even more pressure on Sean McDermott.
The AFC playoffs right now are what the NBA playoffs were in 1994 and 1995 because Michael Jordan was retired at that point. And then in 95, he had came back for like the final 10 games of the season. And like in 94, the Sonics were the 1 seed. I hate to bring this up because, I mean, it's one of the most painful losses in Seattle sports history, but they're the 1 seed in the Western Conference. In a year where Michael Jordan's not playing, they lose to the Denver Nuggets in 5 games. The first time a number 1 seed loses to a number 8 seed in NBA playoff history. Like, that's a level of disappointment that I think Bills fans might end up having if they don't get to a Super Bowl in a year where there's no Lamar Jackson, no Joe Burrow, no Patrick Mahomes. It is Josh Allen, and that is it. The rest of the quarterbacking talent in the AFC is Trevor Lawrence, good quarterback. Justin Herbert, good quarterback. Drake May, ascending quarterback. C.J. Stroud, probably a good quarterback on the same level as Lawrence and Herbert. Josh Allen has such a head start on all of these guys in terms of playoff experience, in terms of everything.
And has James Cook, this year's rushing leader.
Yeah, best running back in the AFC.
I know your defense will allow points and will allow yards. But look, just yesterday we had a conversation about how people are doubting the Seahawks because we think critics understandably tend to value trust in quarterbacks and coaches they know, right? The devil you know. In the playoffs, when it matters most, you tend to go with like what you feel like you've seen before. And Josh Allen is that. Ooh.
But boy, I would say
does Josh Allen need to be one of these answers?
Yeah, I think so.
I think there's a world where he has a great game and they lose.
Oh, we've seen that tons of times in the playoffs. What was it? The game against the Chiefs where he had like a perfect passer rating.
Yes.
Had very few incompletions and they still lost.
Yes, but I also think that if the coin flip, because that was prior to those overtime rule changes, right? I think if the coin flip would have been the other way, I think the Bills advance.
Yeah, that was the game with like the late Gabe Davis touchdown.
4 touchdowns in a loss for Gabe Davis. I'm fully confident the Bills would have won that game if they won the coin toss.
Probably.
So that's more of like a.
But again. It's Josh Allen.
Yeah, but your team allowed, that was high scoring too. 40 points from the Chiefs?
It was like 39.
That was such a good game.
36 or something like that.
Yeah. I think that we're right. In conclusion.
And that's the most important thing.
In conclusion, we're right. Speaking of the playoffs, you get a bye week for the Seattle Seahawks, and then you watch them face the lowest seed from the divisional round. And we've got 2 chances for you to win 2 tickets to see it right here at Lumen Field. Open the Seattle Sports app and hit the Win tab, or head to Seattle Sports, the YouTube page, to find out how to enter. If you don't have the app, just text the word app, APP, to 866-979-3776, and we will send you a download link. These contests run through Wednesday, January 14th. Let's get to 4 Down territory.
This is 4 Down territory, going inside the game. What former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
All right.
Yeah, first down, Stacy. One of the games we did not get to in the first 4 Down territory, the Texans at Pittsburgh. That's Monday night. So we'll even have a chance to preview that one during Monday's show a little bit. But who do you have that one, Texans or Steelers?
Texans. I actually think that Aaron Rodgers quietly, which is funny to say about Aaron Rodgers, since I fully believe Aaron Rodgers is the reason they got Sunday night. But Aaron Rodgers quietly had like a solid second half to the season. For all the critique of Pittsburgh's offense and defense, for that matter, was fine. And I think that they would have had this division in hand prior to Week 18 if they had DK Metcalf. But I think Houston's defense is so good. So good. Seattle leapfrogged them at the last second to be the best scoring defense in football this year. If not, it would have been Houston, who was basically wire to wire the best scoring defense in football until like Week 18. I don't think that Steelers score much of anything against this team.
Yeah, I think it's Houston going away in this one. Their defense is so good. It is on the level of the Seahawks. It is going to be probably, I don't know if it's going to be the toughest watch of the weekend, just because you've got the Rams and Panthers, which I think is going to go LA's way. But yeah, this Texans defense is for real. It is Super Bowl caliber, and definitely something that I think Aaron Rodgers and that Steelers offense is going to have a very hard time with. Second down. All right, the other game that we did not get to earlier, Packers at the Bears, is the nightcap tomorrow night, Saturday Night Football on Amazon. Who do you got, Stacy?
Am I changing my answer?
I mean, that'd be a sports radio first. No one's ever done that.
Never.
In the history of the media.
We did 4 down territory. We do 4 down territory twice a day. Technically, Bump does out sick today. But the first time around, I said Packers. I think my gut tells me that the Packers are going to win. My gut tells me the Packers are going to win and then come here to Seattle and lose to Seattle in the divisional round. But I do want to point this out. While the Packers did not turn the ball over in their regular season finale against the Minnesota Vikings, even though it was a loss, a team in an offense that didn't turn the ball over a ton had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 across 4 weeks, and they are facing a defense that has more takeaways than anyone else in football. So I do wonder if a costly couple turnovers cost the Packers here. I might change my answer to Bears here.
Yeah.
Just to be fun, just to be spicy.
Ooh, okay. I mean,
It's a Friday.
two did.
Let's get weird.
These two did link up for one of the best games of the year. That other Saturday night matchup where Caleb Williams hit,
it was
DJ
Moore, right?
Moore,
Yeah.
and then Moore just like collapses in the end zone.
What a game!
Yeah, what a
It was
one
really
of the best
like what a
finishes.
fourth quarter.
Yeah,
It was a little bit of a slog early, and then just brilliant.
Yeah, I think I'm still sticking with the Packers. I think this Packers team is better than the Bears at full strength. They're not at full strength, obviously, but I think they've got a lot more experience in these situations, and I have them beating the Bears. And plus, the Packers always seem to have one up on the Bears at all times, and I think that continues.
I added some different games. I added it at one different game, but we'll get to it.
All right. Third down. Bills at the Jags.
Well, Curtis, we talked about Sean McDermott facing a lot of pressure. And we also talked about Sean McDermott's Buffalo Bills, who have yet to win a Super Bowl, going 0 for 5 on the road in the playoffs. I think it continues. I think, unfortunately, they go 0 for 6. And I think it doesn't matter what Josh Allen does. I love Josh Allen. I think he's really fun to watch. I think Cook is fun to watch. But I think the Jags hype is not just like sexy team that's scoring a lot right now. I think that they are good enough to get to the divisional round. I don't have them going as far as you do, which I'll let you talk about with your answer, but I think the Jags get it done.
What's that noise?
Duval.
There it is.
Of course.
That's who's winning on Saturday
Oh,
or
the
on
energy.
Sunday. 10 a.m. This is an early game. Buffalo Jags. Yeah, I think Jacksonville is moving on to the divisional round. They have been red hot for the last couple months, dating back to November. I think it continues. Obviously, it'd be a bummer to see Josh Allen lose again in this kind of situation, but you mentioned it. Has not won a playoff road game yet.
Mm-hmm.
Played plenty of those. I think it continues on Sunday.
Last one, quick pick.
Chargers at the Patriots. Who are you taking?
I don't believe in the Chargers offensive line. I'm going Patriots.
Yeah,
Forget their weak schedule. I think they get it done.
I'm going Patriots too. Chargers allowed too much pressure on their quarterback. I've got the Patriots on that.
Wild card trivia show coming your way next.
Are people ready, Brock?
Brock and Salk.
Playoff football back in Seattle? It's been a while.
Morning 6 to 10.
Since we've had like the full deal, everybody full-throated, as loud as it gets.
Being in the building for their last home game to beat the Rams, and that place that night, Salk, took me back to the Green Bay NFC title game. It had that kind of juice in the building. Yeah, I think the folks will be ready.
Only on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
Want to make 2026 your year of adventure? Book that trip and learn a new language with Babbel. Go ahead, make a resolution you can stick to. Now is the time. Babbel's New Year sale is here. Unlock all of the languages on Babbel with the lifetime subscription for 65% off. Just go to babbel.com and start today. Babbel teaches you relevant words and phrases so you can start speaking with confidence in as little as 3 weeks. And because Babbel's bite-sized lessons fit easily into your daily routine and are easy to remember, you'll be talking like a local in time for takeoff. Dive into the world of language learning content with Babbel's videos, podcasts, and stories from around the world, full of culture bites and language learning tips. Turn your daydream into a destination this year with Babbel. But don't wait. This offer ends January 15th. Get Babbel's lifetime access for less at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like rugs. And people say a rug would really bring the room together. And sure, you don't know what that means, but it sounds important. Suddenly you're using words like jute and sisal. Then you see the price and lose it, because how can the thing you walk and spill on cost so much? So you devote your life to taking down Big Rug. But then you remember that switching your home and auto to Progressive could save you hundreds. So looks like Big Rug is safe. For now. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Advanced Hair Restoration, the simple one-day hair loss solution that's guaranteed to regrow your own natural hair. AdvancedHair.com. AdvancedHair.com.
Sewing Machine Service reminds parents to enroll your kids in a positive youth program. Sports, hobbies, and community activities improve overall health and performance in school. These programs decrease drug use and violence and develop self-discipline and leadership skills. Let's team together this year to help our kids reach their full potential. A message from the entire team at Sewing Machine Service, the family-owned sewing experts proudly serving the greater Northwest since 1942, wishing all our kids a safe and successful future.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
Yay to Bruce, the streaming king.
With quantum fiber internet, he's gonna binge.
He wants more, he's got to have more.
More bedtime true crime.
More podcasts in the shower.
Quantum fiber Wi-Fi has the power. More fast internet speeds.
He's got the geeks to go big, bring him the games.
Right now.
And his royal we.
More sports non-stop, his quantum fiber's on top. Yay to you.
Switch today at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service and speed in select locations only.
More than 4,000 women are diagnosed with breast cancer every year in Washington state. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda with Northwest Hope and Healing. We provide a lifeline to breast and gynecologic cancer patients, and you can help us make a difference. Join us for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of wine tasting and inspiration on January 31st at Mary Hill Winery in Woodinville's Wine Country. Get your tickets now for Cork, Fork, and Support. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Wildcard, 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 wildcard. I didn't have a clever soundbite.
So I had to do a little adjustment to the quiz today. Bump is out sick, so I redid the questions. They're like one word or one name answers. So this is how it's going to work. Curtis is obviously Curtis today. And Matt is going to be filling
Curtis
in for
as
Bump.
himself.
The twist is that Matt doesn't watch or care about sports. I know he works on a sports station, and sometimes that makes people mad. But
I love how mad it makes people.
let me tell you what, he is the most amazing
Matt is
sound
better at
editor,
your job than
sound
yours.
producer, board out. He's
Just throwing that out
amazing at
there.
what he does, and his job is not to know sports. But that kind of makes this funny. Now, he does love Marvel, Doctor Who.
Stupid things.
We're just not in that lane today. So do you have the teams in front of you?
All
for
32?
the wild card weekend.
I'm
wild
gonna
card
Google
weekend.
NFL wild card.
NFL wild card schedule.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you know what? I'll just say the options for you. Matt, you are going first in Bump's place, okay?
Okay.
So, which wild card round
Oh, sorry. I should answer and then hit that. My bad.
Which wild card round quarterback threw for the most yards this season?
You got this. You got this.
Now, I will give you multiple choice to make it. I'll just tell you three. Was it Caleb Williams, Jordan Love, Matthew Stafford?
You said those answers so it's like learning English.
I'm sorry.
I understand the
I can't help it.
names.
It's
I
like
just
this
don't
thing
know who
inside
they
of me
are.
that used to pretend that I was a teacher to children. Okay, which one, Matt?
I'm going to go with my fellow Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, it's correct. Okay, point for
Hey!
Matt. Curtis!
You're winning.
Which wild card
Remember
round
this.
quarterback?
It won't be for long.
Enough! Which wild card round quarterback has the lowest completion percentage this season?
Caleb Williams.
Correct. 58%. Okay, Matt, now we're going teams. Which wild card round team was the worst against the run this year? Was it the Eagles, the Bills, or the Rams?
The Rams.
No. Okay, it's the Bills. It's the Bills. That's okay. That's okay. You can bounce back. Curtis,
33% chance. to
which
do it.
wild card round team was the top rushing team this season?
Top rushing team this season. Just the wild card team.
Just wild card teams.
Was it the...
I like how Curtis doesn't get multiple choice.
Was it the Buffalo Bills?
It was the Buffalo Bills.
All right.
Matt, you have a chance to tie it up here.
No, I don't.
Which wild card round defense had the most takeaways this season?
That's
was
the group
it
stopping the other team.
Was it the Packers, the Rams, or the Bears?
The Rams.
No, stop. It was the Bears. The Bears had 22
Rams wasn't
takeaways.
right the first time. I figured it had a chance
I
to be right
see
the
your
second
logic here. I'm
time.
going to eliminate Rams for my next multiple choice. Noted.
Did you lose the quiz?
Curtis,
Oh, okay.
Which wild card round team averaged the most points per game this season?
I'm going to say it's either, is it New England or is it the Rams? Imagine me getting a Rams answer correct and Matt not getting Rams.
Maybe that's why she said uh-oh right before the question.
Is it the LA Rams?
It's the Rams.
Yeah.
That was Matt's question. I had to skip ahead. Okay, so Matt, I swapped yours. Which wild card round team averaged the fewest points this season? Was it the Rams?
Oh, I really want to pick the Rams.
The Panthers? Or the Bills?
The Rams.
No, that's not.
What?
I will not allow that answer. No. Is it the Panthers or the Bills? People are yelling at the radio.
They sure are. The Bills.
Matt, you don't believe that, Matt. Okay, Curtis, a chance to make it 4-1. Which wild card round team won the most games this year?
Ooh.
I know. I thought that one was fun.
So, New England is the highest seeded AFC team, and the Bears are the highest seeded NFC team in the wild card. New England Patriots.
Yes, correct.
There we go.
Matt.
Had to talk myself through that one.
Now, Matt, I know you've got this, okay?
You should have a lot less faith in me.
I
Stace.
need you to think about the questions that have been answered today and know that the Rams and the Panthers are playing each other. Which wild card round team is the biggest underdog this weekend? Is it the Panthers, the Bills, or the Steelers?
The Panthers?
Yes, correct. Matt, you got a point. You got a point. All right. Our next round is all about Doctor Who and Marvel. Curtis, Doctor Who.
This is where Matt makes his comeback.
This is the comeback. This is where it happens.
In Doctor Who, which volcano does the Doctor and his companion watch explode in season 4?
Do I get a multiple choice?
Nope. Pick a volcano. Any volcano.
Mount. Now, this show is based in, like, the UK, right?
I'm not giving you any extra information.
So it's got to be somewhere in Europe. What's the most famous volcano in Europe? Mount Vesuvius. Final answer.
That's actually correct.
Whoa!
Now, who could have seen that coming?
Matt, in the Marvel Universe, who's Captain America's best friend from childhood?
James Buchanan Barnes, who eventually becomes the Winter Soldier.
Wow. I had Bucky
What a
Barnes written
nerd.
down.
Oh,
What a
my
nerd,
gosh.
bro. That's embarrassing. Curtis, that's correct, obviously.
You got to give yourself the noise.
Curtis,
right?
what's Hawkeye's real name?
Hawkeye's real name. So the Iowa Hawkeyes, their head coach is Kirk Ferentz. Been the head coach since like 1997. So Kirk Ferentz, final answer. That's the Hawkeyes'
wrong,
real name.
Unfortunately. It's Clint Barton. Matt, what does
Clint Barnes, former shortstop of the Colorado Rockies.
Stop trying to fit sports trivia into Marvel trivia.
Let me have half a segment.
Matt, what does Iron Man call his AI assistant?
Jarvis.
Correct.
What's the score
if
now?
Curtis gets this wrong and Matt gets his right, we are tied.
Oh, no.
Curtis, what city is Spider-Man from?
New
If you
York
get
City,
it right, you win.
New York City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just won.
There we go.
You
okay.
just won.
Yeah.
Matt,
Made me sweat at the end.
your question for the last second win was going to be what Marvel character is known as the god of mischief?
Loki.
Yeah. I really wish I should have given Curtis a tougher question because nothing would have made me happier than Matt pulling speaking of that Bears-Packers game, recover the kick. Last second touchdown.
Yeah.
Move it down the field. Get to overtime. Nothing would have made
A
me
huge
happier.
comeback. He nearly came back and won.
Dude, it was 4-1.
It was.
And now you won 6-5.
Look,
I'm
stunned I got 2 of those questions right.
Okay, in fairness, you picked the world's most famous volcano and the world's most famous city.
Okay.
I don't think those were the most difficult questions you could have come across.
There are a lot of cities and a lot of volcanoes to pick from, Matt.
Matt.
Name 3 other volcanoes.
Oh.
Mount St. Helens, Haleakala, that's in Hawaii.
That's a weird poll.
And then...
is Kilimanjaro a volcano?
Pretty sure it's
Are all mountains
Mount
volcanoes?
Rainier,
Mount
right?
Rainier, I said.
Yeah, Mount Rainier could blow at
Yeah.
any moment.
Well, name
They're
three
always
more.
telling us that. They're always saying Mount Rainier could go up at any second.
Oh,
big
you know
one.
cities? Name 3 cities.
Name 3 cities. Let's go with SeaTac, Kent, and Lake Stevens.
Let's go.
Dang.
Wow. You got us.
Yeah. It's called talent.
Someone said, get well, Bump. Matt, I think you knocked it out of the park. This does go towards Bump's total record on the season, so it is now 10-7-1.
10-6-1.
10-6-1 Curtis.
6-10-1.
6-10-1 Bump. I will let Bump know that you very nearly won this for him, Matt.
He would have lost anyway.
206 says Spider-Man's technically from Queens. Queens is New York City.
I'm counting that.
Queens is a borough of New
Yeah.
York City. It's not.
I
It's not
know
its own
my,
separate city.
My sister's boyfriend is from Queens. I
Yeah.
feel like I should text him and get confirmation.
Yeah.
I love
Queens
that
is a borough.
Spider-Man is from Queens.
Yeah. Jamaica, Queens. you
What
know?
if he was from, like, what's their, is it called Sodo? What's their little cool place that everyone...
Soho?
Soho.
Yeah. Soto. Soto's our place.
Get your questions in. What I need to know, 866-979-3776. Text now.
Are people ready, Brock?
Brock and Salk.
Playoff football back in Seattle. It's been a while.
Morning 6 to 10.
Since we've had like the full deal, everybody full-throated, as loud as it gets.
Being in the building for their last home game to beat the Rams in that place that night, Salt, took me back to the Green Bay NFC title game. It had that kind of juice in the building. Yeah, I think the folks will be ready.
Only on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health. It's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Febreze.
It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze. La 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 la.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Seattle Sports is giving you two chances to win tickets to the Seahawks divisional round playoff game at Lumen Field. Tap the Win tab in the Seattle Sports app or visit the Seattle Sports YouTube page for your chance to win a pair of tickets to the game.
Holy catfish!
That's 2 separate chances to be part of Seahawks history. Details and rules at seattlesports.com/win from the home of the Seahawks.
Listen to the 12th man.
Seattle Sports.
The home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Touchdown! Seahawks! Ken Walker III!
Get everything Seahawks at seattlesports.com.
Hey, it's Bob Stelton here, and let me tell you about one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. That's when I went to K2 Vision for RLE. That's refractive lens exchange. Now, Dr. Kopstein started K2 Vision with Dr. King from King LASIK, the most experienced LASIK surgeon in the Northwest. King LASIK plus K2 Vision equals freedom vision for every stage of life. No glasses, no contacts, readers, or cataracts. Now, if you're somebody that struggles with distance vision and now you always need a pair of reading glasses, K2 Vision RLE could be your perfect permanent solution to spending your good active years not needing reading glasses. And here's the cherry on top. You never develop a cataract. Now, if you're somebody like me that had a pair of readers in every room of the home, in your car, you had to bring them into the restaurant with you. Otherwise, like me, you couldn't read the menu. That has all been rectified thanks to RLE. So whether it's LASIK, EVO ICL, or RLE, trust the most experienced team of doctors to recommend what's best for you. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
As a quarterback, you cannot run a winning play with a messy playbook. And most companies' data, well, it's a mess. AI is changing the game, but if your data is scattered, you're stuck on the sidelines. Brock Heward here, and this is where my friends at Marquee Data come in. They get your data in shape, clean, connected, ready to perform, so you can finally put AI to work for your business. Whether sales, finance, or operations, every smart move starts with the right data. So head to MyDataQB.com to draw up your game-winning data play today. That's Marquee Data or MyDataQB.com.
Guys, low energy, low drive, or strength not what it used to be? For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, start with a free T-check exam and consultation to get real answers. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. Call 206-529-1111 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply. Must medically qualify.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Get your questions in for What I Need to Know. It's a Football Friday powered by the Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. 866-979-3776. What I Need to Know. They said, I know what I need to know isn't for a while, so it was sent in earlier, but I need to know if this is weird. Okay. I'm writing down a list for the grocery store, and instead of bringing the list with me, I take a picture of the list I just wrote down. I could bring the list. I could just put it in my phone notes even, but I don't. Is that weird?
It's a little weird.
Yes, but it's not bad. It's not like,
Why not just bring the physical list with you? Why do you need to take a picture of it?
I can understand it from this point of view. Let's say that you're somewhat slow at texting or writing out on your phone. Maybe you're doing like an idea drop. I'm just writing down my list.
It's just
and
a stream of consciousness.
Yeah, like I find it easier to remember what I need when I just write it down. And then for some reason I don't want to bring the list with me because I'm afraid of losing it. I'm going to take a picture on my phone so I for sure will know I have it. I can see how that's honestly,
yeah.
I get it. I don't think it's weird. That's my ruling.
My wife and I have a shared notes page that we keep. That is our grocery list. So if one of us is at the store and they see that we've updated it, then we know what we need.
Yeah.
But,
206, how many donuts does everyone owe me after Oregon trounces Indiana?
Trounces, huh? I don't know about that.
It's not going to happen. I would, if you worked here, I would make a donut bet with you, and I don't think I'd lose.
425 makes a compelling point about bringing the physical list with you. It's nice to be able to cross off each item with a actual pen.
Yeah, that's why I like the little the apps that let you click it, like click a checklist.
Yeah.
I do old school, write it down on a piece of paper and bring the piece of paper with me.
Yeah.
That's how I roll as just a writer. Like I'm real pen to paper. You know what I mean?
It's all about physical media.
Yeah, real brick and mortar. What I need to know. Listener, I'll let you know the text line is mostly on your side. Someone did say you are killing a tree and then writing on its body, which is a dark way to describe paper. But most people are like, yeah, it's fine. Someone said, pick up list okay, easy to find at phone.
Then they said it's harder to lose your phone than a piece of paper.
Yeah,
Fair point.
It is.
I just think it's an unnecessary step.
Okay. They said, appreciate it. I'm going to keep writing it down and then taking pictures. I concur. I think that's fine. What I need to know, lots of hot dog questions here. Hot dog with just mustard, hot dog with just ketchup, or hot dog with ketchup and mustard. I think ketchup on a hot dog is not the move.
It's not for me.
It's not for me. Something about it I really don't
If you're
like.
a kid, sure, go for it. But
Ketchup is a youthful condiment.
oh, I eat way less ketchup in adulthood than I did as a kid.
Even with fries, if you were to give me ketchup or like 6 other sauces, I'm perusing that sauce list.
Yes.
It's not an auto ketchup for me.
When I was a kid at McDonald's, you know how they would give you those paper cups that you squirt the ketchup into? I would probably take like 3 or 4 of those to my table.
Yeah,
now
you
I don't eat McDonald's fries with anything.
It's sweet and watery. Give me a garlic aioli.
You were not eating garlic aioli as a kid.
No, not as a kid. Absolutely not. Now as an adult, now that I'm grown, now that I have a mature palate, garlic aioli. Give me a
Give me
Chipotle,
campfire sauce.
honey mustard.
From Red Robin.
You know what I mean? A barbecue sauce. I love a Cajun rub.
Have you ever had spicy ketchup? It's pretty good.
No. Is that just sriracha and ketchup, or like hot sauce and ketchup?
Yeah.
I mean, buffalo sauce even, I would consider. Ketchup?
Right. Ketchup's the Hershey bar of condiments.
I feel like
where it's like it's the most popular, yes, but
Yeah.
it's like
We just evolved
I don't know if
past
it's
it.
anybody's favorite.
Although, you know what I did over the weekend that I'm not proud of? I was getting groceries, and they had the Valentine's Day candy out, and they had a pack of Hershey's Kisses, and I thought, why not? Why not? I'm not going to eat a whole bag of Hershey's
Wow,
Kisses.
you're so crazy buying Hershey's Kisses.
No, I did eat the whole bag of Hershey's Kisses. And what I'm...
And that's fine.
No, but I
let
bring
yourself live.
But the reason I bring this up is that Hershey bar and Hershey chocolate is a boring choice, but when it's in front of you and you eat it, you'll eat it until it's gone. It's chocolate at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
They also wanted to know what other things do we put on our hot dogs?
Just mustard.
I'll go mustard. I'll also put grilled onions on a hot dog.
Delicious.
That's
yeah.
a good one.
Great choice. Not a relish person.
But outside of like grilled onions and mustard, I don't think I'm doing that. Are you a yellow mustard or a Dijon?
I love a Dijon. Either is fine. I love mustard. I just think sometimes we try to complicate dogs. You know?
Right.
Keep it simple. The way God intended hot dogs to be eaten.
I know. I see. Have you seen what goes on a Chicago dog? It's like a pickle spear, tomato, and a bunch of other stuff, and it's like that's just too much.
I think that we're just we're trying too hard. We're getting lost.
Now,
we're losing ourselves.
I will contradict myself now.
Yeah.
Having lived in Tucson, there's a Sonoran dog, and
What's a Sonoran dog?
It's wrapped in bacon, and then it's got just everything on it. It's great. Bacon wrapped hot dog. The bun is steamed, so it's soft. It's really good. And then you've got beans, tomatoes, onion, mustard, mayonnaise, and like jalapeno sauce on top of it. It's so good.
Oh, remember when my whole
So
brand
good.
was baked beans on hot dogs? That would be my other answer, but I wouldn't do that with mustard. I think baked beans are good.
Well, this is like refried beans.
Someone said, God, where did this go? God, the whole text line's talking about hot dogs. I could use some questions. 866-979-3776. Oh, here we go. Most underrated fast food item.
Underrated
That's a
fast
great
food
question because you can't say cheesy gordita crunch. You can't say Big Mac. You can't say chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
Underrated, where you're like, "Pfft, how does this not fly off the shelves? How does this not get more commercials? How does everyone not talk about this? For a minute, it was like the Taco Bell, like their pizza was a big deal, but no
I'll
one
say
talked about it.
The Junior Bacon Cheeseburger at Wendy's has never steered me wrong.
Would we count the biscuit at Popeyes as being underrated or kind of a staple with your meal?
It's got a cult following.
If
for
you
sure.
don't get the biscuit every time you go, why? why go to Popeyes? Why not go somewhere else?
Right. You just got to have a drink with it, or else
Yeah.
the
It
spit
will
in your mouth will be gone.
I think it absorbs all the water in your body. But it's so good. It's so good. Matt, do you have an answer to that one? You look like you're deep in thought.
This is kind of a weird one.
Okay.
But Arby's mozzarella sticks.
Oh,
That's a great answer.
Good answer.
I don't like
good
Arby's.
answer.
Good
Good
answer.
answer.
Other ones, chili cheese burrito from Taco Bell, said someone. And then someone else said 3-piece egg roll at Jack
You
in
can
the Box.
tell this show
It's
happens
culture.
during lunchtime.
Yeah.
Because that's all this segment turned into is like, what are we hungry for?
We're all going to go get food now. Wyman and Bob coming up next.
Blue 88 every morning at 7:45. Brock Ewart tackles 3 football questions as only he can.
So they got a bye week now, Brock. What do they do? Obviously, you have the 4 opponents, Salk. You faced 3 of them this year and 2 of them twice this year. You're going to get to do a lot of watching and a lot of resting. And most importantly, these guys are going to get healthy, Salk. And I would expect when they do practice the following week, when we get an injury report, that it's going to be very, very light.
Catch every Blue 88 on the Seattle Sports app.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8157. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8157. That's 800-575-8157. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor. You visit urgent care over and over again. And it's always the same thing, right? Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and some nasal sprays. But they just keep coming back. You may suffer with chronic sinus infections. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure called the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic. Imagine a procedure so delicate there are no narcotics. Less cutting means less bleeding, so no packing, and no operating room. The Sinusoft procedure is designed for the clinic. If you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, and congestion, find out if the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic, is the solution for you. Call and set an appointment today. 206-388-2770. 206-388-2770. That's 206-388-2770.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
Hey, Hawk fans, Jake Bobo.
Stormy weather is here. How's your roof holding up? Give Techline Roofing a call. With the strongest warranty in the business, Techline has you covered. That's Tekline. Roofing.com. Trust Techline.
At O'Neill Plumbing, we don't just promise to get the job done, we back it up. No travel charge, no show-up fee, no overinflated pricing, and no out-of-town owners. Just clean, fast, and professional each and every day. O'Neill Plumbing.
Want to make 2026 your year of adventure? Book that trip and learn a new language with Babbel. Go ahead, make a resolution you can stick to. Now is the time. Babbel's New Year sale is here. Unlock all of the languages on Babbel with the lifetime subscription for 65% off. Just go to Babbel.com and start today. Babbel teaches you relevant words and phrases, so you can start speaking with confidence in as little as 3 weeks. And because Babbel's bite-sized lessons fit easily into your daily routine and are easy to remember, you'll be talking like a local in time for takeoff. Dive into the world of language learning content with Babbel's videos, podcasts, and stories from around the world, full of culture bites and language learning tips. Turn your daydream into a destination this year with Babbel. But don't wait. This offer ends January 15th. Get Babbel's lifetime access for less at